You're watching ICENET, independently covering New York Islanders hockey past and present, bringing you the tradition and nostalgia you know and love with a modern feel. This is where Islanders tradition and pride are always our number one. Built by passion for the orange and blue. Isles coverage. Taking a step into the future by reaching into the past. ICENET. Dynasties live here.
Get out there and outwork the opposition. I'd always have my chances to score and that I could play. I believe that the players have to be prepared. I intend to have them work very hard to be prepared physically, but mentally they have to work hard to prepare themselves. I expect them to spend a lot of time off the ice learning the opposition, learning what we want to accomplish, and making sure that when we go, we know exactly what it is that we want to get done. We know what we can do to take away the opposition's strengths and give us a chance to play our kind of game and win.
Tonight's game is brought to you by Adelphia Cable Communications, Jones Intercable, TCI of Buffalo, and by Cable Media Connection.
It's one of a kind. VH1. Fire brewing. It's more than a way to make Stroh's and Stroh Light. It's a family tradition, passed down from one generation to another for over 200 years. It's what guarantees that smooth, consistent taste for generations to come.
Now you're talking Stroh's. Now you're talking beer. Now you're talking good times, and Stroh's is spoken here.
This game is brought to you in part by Stroh's and Stroh's Light. Now you're talking good times, and Stroh's is spoken here.
My heart begins to tingle when the bells begin to jingle. Ziggity zing zing, ziggity zing zing. Every time they play the Sabre dance, my heartbeat tries to capture all
Hello, everybody, and welcome back to Buffalo Sabres hockey. Well, this bench here behind me, Craig Ramsey helped to occupy this bench for 14 years when he was playing for the Buffalo Sabres. Now he's behind the bench tonight for the second game, officially. Unfortunately, the Sabres lost to the Vancouver Canucks the other night by a 7-6 score. Tonight, they take on the New York Islanders, a team coming in after winning 2-1 in overtime against the Red Wings last night. As far as the Islanders are concerned, they have yet to win on the road. They have lost 4 and they've tied 1. But, Mike, let's briefly get back to that game against the Vancouver Canucks. It was a weird one.
Was that a game? It was a terrible game. Both teams just played horrible hockey. Vancouver won the game, but really nothing to write home about. It seemed, Ted, like maybe 75% of the goals were scored on rebounds. The goaltenders would give the rebounds, then the defensemen would not clear the rebounds. So it was just one mistake after another. They're running into a little different hockey club here tonight. The New York Islanders are very sound. A lot of people around the National Hockey League thought, well, maybe the Islanders are starting to lose it. They aren't that great anymore. They have a new coach this year, struck a little light under them, and they are playing exceptionally well right now, and they're very tough defensively. They're playing the body extremely well.
Although Clark Gillies has played in the National Hockey League for so many years, this is a special night for him.
Oh, a very emotional time. I went through it a couple times myself, and I remember when I had to step out here in my first game, and I'll tell you, my heart was pounding. I felt for the other team. You're really confused, but once the puck drops, once one of the Islanders come over and maybe pop him a couple times, he'll wake up and he'll get right into the hockey game. But an emotional night for Clark Gillies. He's playing pretty good right now. See if he can continue here tonight.
And for the Buffalo Sabres, of course, they're looking for a victory over the New York Islanders. It should be a good game, so stay with us. But right now, we're going to go inside and Bruce Hood.
Well, thanks, Ted. You know, our last televised game last Wednesday night, we had the Boston Bruins in here, and they certainly weren't the big bad Bruins of old. They were a very pale imitation of that. Tonight we've got the New York Islanders, 4-time Stanley Cup winners, and they say that this is the new look Islanders. I was talking to one of the sports writers earlier today, and he said that for the first time in about 5 years, he really enjoys covering them because they've got some new young legs. Brian Trottier is revved up again. Bossy's back off injuries. Billy Smith, would you believe, this summer went on a big campaign to build his upper body, and he is ready. He wants to play another 4 years in the league. So these Islanders could provide a lot of excitement out here tonight. We're going to take a look at Brian Trottier, and we'll be back at the end of the first period to do that. Right now, we're going to go upstairs for the opening face-off to Ted Darling and Mike Robitaille.
Well, thanks very much, Bruce, as we look at the starting goaltender for the Islanders tonight, Billy Smith. And the officials tonight, Bill McCreary is the referee, Ron Esseltine and Jerry Pateman are the two linesmen. There's a look at Billy Smith. He's playing in only his 4th game. He's won 1, lost 1, and tied 1 with a 2.92 goals against average. His last start was against the Rangers, a 2-all overtime tie. At the other end of the ice surface, it's Jacques Cloutier getting his 8th start in goal. He's played in 7 to 2.98 goals against average. He's won 3, lost 4, and we are ready to begin play. The first period is underway. It comes back inside the line. At center now, cleared into the Buffalo zone, off the glass rather, and into the crowd, and they'll have a face-off now.
Well, if Clark Gillies feels a little uneasy coming into this game playing against some of his old teammates, then his teammates should really feel uncomfortable because they realize his strength and what a bull moose he is. But they see they started him first shift of the game. Good move by Craig Ramsey. Get him right in there and let him get his feet wet.
And it's Ruutu, Gillies, and Perino, the forward line for Buffalo. Ruutu wins the draw from Bob Basson. Ramsey around the boards. Gillies trying to deflect it out. It's kept in. Now Ramsey, he bumps into Dale Henry. Cleared around to the right point now for Leader. Back to the back in. It looks like there's going to be a penalty coming up to the Buffalo Sabres. Lindy Rupp. A tripping call to the Sabres, and when we come back, it'll be the Islanders on the power play.
You know, the weather. It's not the taxes, it's the radio stations. Check it out.
Hello, baby.
I'm supposed to make a choice here. Why isn't there a station that plays good classic hits? Stones, Steely Dan, Beatles. Like this.
Backed by popular complaint, Classic Hits 104.1 FM WHTT, where all the good songs have gone.
On a face-off in the Buffalo zone, the Islanders go to the power play. Leader long drive and a glove by Kluche. Left it there. It's cleared into the Buffalo bench area, and they'll do it all over again. Another face-off in the Buffalo zone into the left as you look at the head coach of the Buffalo Sabres, Craig Ramsey, working behind the bench with assistant coach Barry Smith.
The Islanders are ranked 7th in the National Hockey League, 24.6 percentage. Playing exceptionally well. They've been winning an awful lot of games with the power play, but one of the problems is killing penalties, especially on the road.
But they've had, what, something like 10 power play goals on the road.
That's right. It's killed them. Plus, a lot of those one-goal games, very, very close, and their penalty killing have let them down. But the power play, if anything, has been getting them over the hump.
On the draw, Potvin to the far side. The shot there that goes wide. Potvin will move to the right point. He keeps it in, but out of the stick of Farrell. He sends away Ardeel back to the Ramsey to the Islander line. Knocked it in. A good play there by Ardeel to come up with it. He keeps it into the Islander zone. Quache works it to the far side, and here they come. New York with the man advantage. Quache steps to the Buffalo line. Perro is there to knock it away. And Dennis Potvin goes back after it inside the Islander blue line. 1:14 remaining now in the power play for the Islanders. Quache with Bossy on his right. The pass on the left side to Dennis Potvin. Height is there, but backhanded into the Islander zone. Smith will leave it for Janssen. They'll try it again with 50 seconds remaining. And they whistle it down, a two-line pass. 52 seconds, left in the penalty now to Lindy Ruff. As you look at one of the two Sutter brothers, Brent Sutter, his brother Dwayne, of course, in the team as well.
Well, both those players, both brothers, play a very, very big role on this Islander hockey club. They're very tough in the corners. They come to play, and it's difficult to play against both these players. They just don't take a night off. They're in there all night digging and working and giving all they can possibly give. Another fine goaltender, Billy Smith, over the years, played so well, especially in playoff time.
Face off inside the Islander blue line. Opening minutes of the first period. Height steps to the line, lets the drive go. Smith catches that one in the chest area. Leaves it for Janssen. They'll try it again. Islanders man advantage. Knocked away by Sear. He takes over at center. Shoots it right back into the Islander zone. That forces Janssen to go back after it. Now the pass up to the blue line. Working back with it is Crom. Crom's pass to the left side to Janssen. Shoots it into the Buffalo zone. Kluche could not block it. It comes around. Flatley keeping it in. Down to the corner boards. Flatley's in there trying to get it free along with Brent Sutter. It's tipped by Ramsey. Sutter to the boards with Height. Now Sear reaching in trying to control the puck. Comes back to the point now. Makala to the far side. Janssen with the long drive and hit a leg in front. Loose puck right in front. There's Crom. He is stopped with a great save by Kluche. What a save by Kluche on Crom. Tremendous effort there. Janssen with a drive that goes wide. Round to Makala. He keeps it in. There's Crom into the corner. Back in front. A loose puck and a good play by Height. He swept it away from Flatley, and it's back in now to the Islanders zone.
The Islanders only had one good opportunity, and what an opportunity it was. Kluche came out and made the left pad save and just stole the puck from him blindly. Wow, what a save by Kluche.
Now Morrow. Islanders, Buffalo rather, back at full strength. Janssen over the line at center. It is cleared in by Basson wide to the Buffalo net. Kluche playing it around the boards. It comes Juandrich up with the pass. Trying to get to an out. Pavon. Here comes Smith way into the net. He knocked it away, and then Pavon knocks Smith's goal stick right out of his hands in behind the net. Now Smith gets help as Curran picks it up and gives the stick back to Billy Smith. Now Andrechuk going in deep against Morrow. They go to the board. Here's Basson in there. Tucker comes up with it. Tucker now at the side of the net. Andrechuk was knocked out behind the net. Here's Andrechuk, puts it right through the goal. Puts it back. Drive by Pavon went wide. And Pavon brought the stick around and whacked Curran with it. Here's a shot by Howsey. Now Tucker trying to work. He puts it right through the goal. Grease and Smith crawls on it. We could have something going here. There's some pushing. Look out, folks.
consistent taste. Now you're talking beer.
Now you're talking Stroh's. Now you're talking beer. Now you're talking good times, and Stroh's is spoken here.
Good start by both goaltenders tonight. Cloutier with that outstanding save, and Billy Smith coming back with a sparkling effort. Here's Cloutier right here. This is the power play opportunity for the Islanders. You talk about quick reactions. Look at this. Watch him get set for this opportunity right here. Just set him up. A little long on this.
Face-off coming up in the Islanders zone now with Perreault, Sear, and Arneal. Owsley and Krupp working back on defense. Now Perreault against Trottier. It's recovered by Dennis Potvin. Here he comes to the blue line. At center, he'll shoot it in off the corner boards. Arneal tried to get to it, cleared by Sear, and he dumped it back into the Islanders zone. Going back after it, Gordie Deneen. Deneen's brother, of course, Kevin, star with the Hartford Whalers, and their father, Bill Deneen, formerly played for the Red Wings and coached in Adirondack in the American Hockey League.
Of course, his dad played with Gordie Howe one time, and he was rolled right there, named after the Hall of Famer, Gordie Howe. I've seen quite a bit of Gordie in the past week. He's been making the jaunts around each NHL arena. Present the Emery Award for the best plus-minus awards for each individual player throughout the league.
No score. 4 minutes have gone by. First period face-off at the Buffalo zone. Wayne Sutter into the corner. Knocked it in behind the Buffalo net where Owsley will take over. His pass tipped away. Side of the net now. Recovered by Trottier in front to Bossy. Quick shot. Bossy is stopped by Cloutier. Put it back to Deneen. To Bossy again. He dropped it back. And it's recovered by Perreault. He gives it to Sear with Arneal on the right. He'll tip it in now to the Islanders zone as this checking line formed by Craig Ramsey, Perreault, Sear, and Arneal on the big line for the Islanders. Now Deneen, long pass at center. Trottier moves up into the Buffalo zone. Still with it now. Checked by Arneal into the corner. Goes Wayne Sutter back to Trottier and went off the blade of his stick and into the Islanders zone. Going back to retrieve it, number 29, that's Kenny Leader. Now to LaFontaine. Back to LaFontaine, but right through to Mike Ramsey. Sends it off the boards to Gillies. Tips it on into the Islanders zone. Conroy in there with Rutu. Here goes Gillies. A pass in front. It comes back to the blue line. Kept in by Mike Ramsey. There goes Gillies into the corner. He left it there for Foligno. LaFontaine and Foligno. Now Quam will take over for the Islanders. The pass up to the line and Conroy comes back and he sends it in off the boards into the Buffalo zone. Ramsey going back to take over. The long pass intended for Gillies goes right through to Kenny Morrow. Off the boards and into the Buffalo zone where Mike Ramsey is waiting for. Steps away from Crom. Crom in forechecking, doing a fine job. Rutu helping. Here's Rutu getting it back to Lindy Rupp. Up to the line at center. Now to the Islander line, but it's an offside call with 14:19 remaining in the first period.
Looking to buy a television?
Beware. Compare.
On Price with Service, Burnham's has Sony Trinitrons cheaper than Silo, and feature for feature cheaper than Sears. Going to buy a stereo TV?
Beware. Compare.
On Price with Service, Burnham's has Sony consoles and portables cheaper than Silo, and feature for feature cheaper than Sears. Burnham's 66 years of experience is your best guarantee. Burnham's is cheaper.
43-year-old and Terry Simpson played junior hockey. He played 1 year in the Eastern Hockey League, and then he quit. And he worked for a year, then went back and started coaching junior hockey and led Prince Albert to the Memorial Cup Championship. And he also coached Canadian national junior team. Terry Simpson, the new coach to the Islanders, you saw a moment ago. Now Curran. Center, Curran acquired from the Boston Bruins for Boutelier in the summer. Here's Tucker sending it around the glass. Payma. Now, loose puck into the corner. And coming. Our side. In now the Islanders zone. Oh, the drive there. And it went wide as Payma looks at the referee for a penalty. Here's a pass. Will off escape. Now Hofford winds up for the drive. And Smith knocked that one away. Recovered by Flatley at center. Trying to get away from Height. Flatley to the line. Comes in over the line. His drop pass. Potvin will go after it. He keeps it in. There's the quick shot. Blocked by Hofford. He backhanded it. Not out. The Islanders keep it in. Off the boards, and Andrechuk is there. He lost it. There's a shot. Hofford stepped in front of it. Buffalo will make a change. Denis quickly to the left wing now. Shot there taken by Cloutier, and he holds on to that with 13:08 remaining here in period number 1. Islanders with 5 shots on Cloutier. Sabres with 3 and Billy Smith. But what a big key save we had a while ago on Cloutier and Mike Glass.
That's an awful good start. Here comes Will Paymont trying to put a move on Janssen. He wheels around him, but not completely. Janssen ties him up and throws him off balance. Billy Smith realized that, and he walked right out on him. Really took a good opportunity away from Paymont by cutting the angle down. See, there's Brian Kern. Of course, he picked him up from Boston, defenseman tonight for the Islanders. They call him the Colonel because he's always giving instructions out there. So they started calling him Colonel Kern.
Now Orlando. Hit against Bassett on this face-off. Going into the corner. Bassett comes up with it behind the Buffalo net. Puts it right in front to Potvin at the point. Long shot there. Picked off by Cloutier. Left it there. Cleared high into the air by Orlando. Glove down, recovered by Eddie Priestley into the Islanders zone. Here's Priestley trying to get around Potvin and a goal. There will be a penalty. A delayed penalty coming up. He shoots. Oh, it just went wide and not wide there by Orlando. They whistle the play down. The Sabres going on their first power play opportunity of the evening.
We asked drivers across Western New York why they chose Ford.
This is my first car. I wanted good-looking value, and I got it.
Any van has the room, but we chose Aerostar because of its contemporary style and its smooth ride.
My Taurus wagon is so good-looking and smooth riding, I almost feel like a celebrity.
If you haven't made Ford your choice, stop at your nearest Ford dealer of Western New York today.
May I say that I adore you? You're aboard a Crown Victoria as we show the loft of Buffalo.
Here's an example of what speed can do for you. He wheels right around Potvin. Potvin had to hold him down at the last moment, a little hook, and you can see Smith right down on his backside, but the Sabres could not get good enough control of the puck to really come up with the opportunity to score. The puck was jumping around, especially Gates Orlando. He had the best opportunity of all of them, and was just jumping a little too much for him.
Well, the Sabres were 3 for 7 in the power play against the Canucks on Friday night. Their power play coming along much better now. Rutu in behind the net. Foligno's there. Trying to get it free. Now Foligno finally comes up with it. Sends it back to Mike Ramsey. There's the shot. Hit wide. Gillies will go after it into the corner. Out of the sideline. Right back to Gillies. Now for Rutu. Rutu watched by Morrow. Rutu on the far side. Still has it. Set up the box. It comes over to Foligno. Foligno! What a pass! Oh, from the rookie, Christian Rutu. I'll tell you, Rutu has got the great hands and the great passing ability, and he sets up Foligno.
And the fans were starting to get disturbed because he was holding on to the puck so long, but he is waiting for the right pass. He found it. Foligno one-times it, and boy, that's a hard thing to do. You're standing on those skates. The puck is coming across about 30 miles an hour. Your timing has to be deadly, but beautiful pass here from Rutu, and you see Foligno. He was set, and he jumped on it. Bang, right into the corner. I believe Billy Smith might have got a small piece of it, but still went in over the line.
Foligno with his 5th goal of the year, and his first power play goal.
Gillies gets an assist on that goal also, Ted. That'll make him feel a little more comfortable.
And it's a 1-0 score. They come right back into the Islander zone. Here's Rutu behind the net. He put it back in front. Makala skates away now for the Islanders. Up into the Buffalo zone against Ramsey. Makala waiting for some help. His pass to Crom deflected away. That allows Ruff to clear it, but not out. Makala keeping it in. A backhand pass cleared down the ice by Ramsey. It'll roll right through to Billy Smith. So there's no icing. Leader going back to get it. Now Crom to the Islanders for Makala. A little trouble. Slides it through to the Buffalo blue line. LaFontaine in on the puck. He's checked and taken to the boards by Ramsey. Perreault trying to dig it free. And Perreault goes in behind the Buffalo net. I'll tell you, Perreault's skating like he's 21 years old in the past couple of games. Perreault comes back at center. Gets by one. Gets in over the line. A Another move back down to Sear. A loose puck. Pike tried to get to it with the Islanders. Denny Hoffman at center. Backhanding it in. Cleared away and back over the line. Sabres have a 1-0 lead with 11 minutes remaining in the first period. Deneen slaps it into the Buffalo zone. Around it comes to Arneal on that right side. Arneal check. He clears it off the boards. The right on goes under Billy Smith. Gets it up to Deneen. Ahead to Mike Bossy. Bossy has missed 4 games. He's played in 9 games. Has 6 goals. A bit of a problem with a back strain. Tight in behind the net. Now for Arneal. Watched by Tranche. One-hands it to Perreault. Comes to the Islander line. Unable to get by. Morrow clears it. Here's Height. He tried to wait for Perreault to come back on. Unable to.
You know, Ted, a lot of times I think Gilles Perreault, he doesn't realize how good he is. I mean, this guy is a nightmare. Even at his age, teams still come in here, defensemen, and they shudder at the thoughts of trying to stop Perreault on a 1-on-1. But he lets a lot of the opposing forwards off and defensemen because he won't go through his little act. I don't know why. Maybe it's just a lack of confidence. But if he would cut it loose every time he grabbed that puck, or at least try to make a move or try to walk around a defenseman, he would be very successful the majority of the time. So, boy, when he doesn't, when he passes it off, believe me, the opposing defenseman, they just kind of shake and go, whoa, thank you.
Brent Sutter steers the puck in off the quarter boards into the Buffalo zone. Housley watched in there by Flatley. Comes around to the right side and at center. Brent Sutter. His pass to Flatley. Flatley taken to the boards by Housley. Here's Tucker. Loose puck in behind the net. Tucker now trying to clear. Flatley gets it back behind the net. Here's Brent Sutter in front. The shot by Janssen was blocked. It comes back to the blue line. Kept in by the Islanders. Brent Sutter again behind the net. Wheels up to the backhand drive in front of the net. Tipped away and Andrejchuk trying to clear it. Unable to. Now the Islanders are putting on some heavy pressure. Sabres having difficulty. Flatley with a quick shot. Quick save the save. Oh, he reached back with a glove and blocked it as it was rolling towards the goal line. Jacques Cloutier has been outstanding here in this first period.
The little guy's in the game, isn't he? That's 2 sparkling saves by Cloutier.
Now the puck back in the Islanders zone. The Sabres have a 1-0 lead. 9:23 left in the first period. Rupp at center. He sends it up now to Priestley. Knocks it on into the Islanders zone. Billy Smith scoops it around the boards. It's recovered by Alan Kerr. Backhands at the length of the ice surface. Rupp will go back after it. Islanders will be called for icing. Now with 9:05 remaining here in this first period. You know, Mike, Ron Biscotti, a photographer for the Buffalo Evening News, he's taping this game tonight. He's going to send it to West Germany, and his son is going to captain Ron Biscotti and his wife Debbie as we take a look at this replay.
Well, here it is right here. The Islanders hemmed Buffalo up in their own zone. There's the shot, somewhat screened, but still he got the right arm and the blocker on it. Watch him scramble here. You know somebody's going after. Watch those little legs just dangle right across there to cover the far side of the net. He's hot and he's rolling and he's really into this hockey game.
But Ron Biscotti's son, Ron Jr., commands the 18th Medical Detachment there, Stuttgart, Germany, and there is Ron Sr. And we're going to send this tape over, so we'd like to say hello to Ron Jr., and his wife Debbie, and all the hockey fans will be watching this tape later on. They do have the Armed Forces Network, but naturally they don't get anything live over there, so we do hope you're going to enjoy this one here. We hope that we can get a victory for you, because we know you're Buffalo Sabres fans. Now they try to clear it. It comes back to the line. Pike keeping it in. Here's a loose puck. Hartman tried to get to it. There will be a penalty to the Islanders. A penalty to the Islanders. Sabres going to their second power play in the first period.
The game that counts, the pressure mounts, the kickoff's almost here. I know the way. Now you're talking football. Now you're talking beer. Now you're talking good times, and Stroh's is spoken here.
Stroh's, fire brewed for smooth, consistent taste.
Now you're talking Stroh's. Now you're talking beer. Now you're talking good times, and Stroh's is spoken here.
There's the penalty to Leader right there. Now the Buffalo Sabres go back on the power play, but that was started off with good work by Hartman and Hofford. They really put pressure on the Islanders in their own zone.
Mentioning Ron Biscotti gave you the note. You know what he's got it printed on? On the top of his pad says memo from the desk of Ron Biscotti, the Courier Express.
Memories.
I mean, how long ago is the Courier Express? Face off inside the Islander blue line. Sabres go to the power play. They lead 1-0. On the face-off, Curran comes up with it, sends it to center. Perreault and Ramsey working back on the points on this power play. As Ramsey tipped it out into the corner. Curran, watched by Polino, comes to center. Now Ramsey getting it off the boards. Recovered by Rutu. Left it there for Perreault. Breaks into the Islander zone. He's hooked from behind. Went to the ice. Here's Rutu with a screen drive. Just went wide. And Perreault couldn't block it at the right point. Out comes over to Ramsey at his own blue line. White Ramsey moving slowly. Sends it in off the board. Smith tried to stop it. Comes around to Rutu at the blue line. He keeps it in. There's Perreault now. Perreault knocked down again. Rutu into the corner. Watche goes after him. Gets it back to Perreault. Winds up, takes the shot. There's a drive there by Gillies. Back to Rutu. Far side. Gillies at the side of the net. 1 minute remaining in the power play. Here's Gillies. Gives it back to Rutu. Now Polino is bumped by Morrow. Here's Rutu again. He tried to work it back to the blue line, but it's intercepted by Janssen. Watche comes in now against Mike Ramsey. Has trouble controlling the puck, and Ramsey comes up with it. Andrechuk now on for Buffalo, along with John Tucker. 40 seconds left in the power play as Ramsey steps to the Islander line. It's an offside call. Andrechuk was off a stride in the right wing. 7:15 remaining in the first period. 1-0 Buffalo leading.
You know, Ron Muscati, he was a photographer here when I was playing back in 72, 73. He had hair then.
He had hair then.
And I was 200 pounds then also. 7:15 remaining in this first period. Sabres with a 1-0 lead. 36 seconds remaining on the Buffalo power play.
What do you weigh now? About 220?
No, about 216.
Of course, you work off, what, 5 or 6, 7 pounds a game? Practice.
At breakfast, I do that. Just making it.
Now Potvak clearing it off the boards into the Buffalo zone. Housley. Now Huey Krupp leaves it for Housley. Gets it back now to Tucker. There's 20 seconds left in the Buffalo power play. Sabres lead it 1-0. Here they come with Paymon's pass off the skate of Potvak. Slap to the line, over the line. Tucker. Housley. Andrechuk. Off the boards. Paymon breaks in there against Conroy. Conroy gets it for Crom. Crom lost it to Tucker to Andrechuk. To the line. Here's Housley. Quick shot. Block. Andrechuk has it in the corner. Now the Islanders are back at full strength. Andrechuk with the shot off the leg of Paymon. Sitting there. Potvak comes away with it now for the Islanders. Buffalo 1 for 2 in the power play. Cleared into the Buffalo zone. And they get a whistle with 6:23 remaining here in the first period. Sabres in front 1-0.
Aren't you tired of just watching the most exciting sport in the world? Don't you want to grab that stick, hit the ice, and score that goal? If you haven't played hockey before, even if you can't skate, it's time to join NNHA, Beginner Hockey for Adults, nationwide. We'll teach you how to skate and play.
Learn to skate and play with NNHA.
Call 1-800-4HOCKEY.
Head coach Craig Ramsey and behind the Buffalo bench. Face off inside the Islander blue line. On the draw, Orlando kicks it back. Ruff will clear it into the Islander zone. Now Morrow for New York to the far side to Crom. Curran has it. Curran leads the Islanders in penalty minutes with 61. Here's the pass. Out comes back to Morrow at center. Clears it into the Buffalo zone off the boards. Hartman moving in there. Around. It'll come to the right point. Stopped by Crom. Tied up by Priestley. Here's LaFontaine. Priestley clearing it. A hop right over the blade of Curran's stick. Another Morrow's stick. And Curran gives it to LaFontaine. Stopped to the line by Hartman. Rupp off the board. Gives it to Orlando. Out of the Islander blue line. Attempting to break through. Orlando still with it. They go to the corner boards. Hartman is there. LaFontaine sends it to the far side. From it, he bumps It's into Rupp, and here's Crom with it. Number 35. The pass to Makala. Makala with 5 goals in the season. Crom. Rupp takes over. Islanders make a change. Bossy steps on. Here comes Hartman. He'll shoot it in. And with Bossy stepping on the ice, on comes Gilbert, Perrault, Scott O'Neill, and Sear. Out Pache at center. Up to the Buffalo line. He clears it in. Perrault will go in with Bossy in behind the net. Hofford takes Bossy to the boards. It's kicked away. Waiting for it is Leader. Leader gets it back into the corner. Now Dwayne Sutter along the boards, but Perrault picks it up. They could get a 2-on-1. Here comes Perrault and O'Neill. Perrault going in on goal. The drive, and Smith makes the save, and then he reaches behind. The puck may have slipped between his pads.
What a terrible, helpless feeling for a forward when he comes down on a goaltender and he knows he has a good opportunity, but he waits too long, and then he realizes it's too late. He's right on top of the goalie. He has no place to shoot the puck, but you can see Perrault, he's going to move the puck to O'Neill. Decides not to at the last moment. You can see Billy Smith stays with him all the way, but Perrault knew he had nothing to shoot at except between his legs. And you can see the hole he leaves there for Burton. He tries to put the puck right between his legs. The shot is off by probably 3 or 4 inches and just catches him right on the knee of the pad. But that's all he had left, really, was to put the puck right in between the legs. A lot of goaltenders will probably suck you into shooting the puck there, knowing full well that's all you have to shoot at. And he knows where the puck's going before you even shoot it.
Both teams have had 8 shots on goal. Sabres lead at 1-0. Only one player in the Islanders in the minus category. Sabres have 6 in that department.
Well, Sabres are playing so much better tonight than that weak-kneed effort the last game against the Vancouver Canucks. Altogether different story here in this game.
Now Potvin with Sear, Perrault moving in. Bossy going in. They hold it there. The Islanders are 4th in goals against in the NHL, 40. Buffalo's tied for 8th with 4 other teams, 51 goals against.
Ted, just imagine defenseman Dennis Potvin with 967 career points. He'll be the first defenseman ever to reach 1,000 points. Think of Mike Bossy, the real sharpshooter of the National Hockey League in the past decade.
On the draw, here's Potvin with Sear. The pass went off a leg, recovered by Denis. Now Sear tried to clear it. Hofford back at his own line. It's tipped back into the Buffalo zone. White will go back after it. 4:12 remaining here in the period. Round for Arneal. It hit the skate of the referee. Oh, pass right in front to Trache. Took a whack at it, but he couldn't connect. Here comes Perrault. He steps away from one. The pass to Arneal. Arneal works it over to Andrechuk. There's the shot, and he whistled that one behind the net. Here's Potvin. The long pass up to the right side. It's recovered by Tucker. Tucker slides it through to Andrechuk. Andrechuk with another shot. High and wide. Potvin to the far boards. And Krupp keeps it in with his drive. And Krupp seemed to come from nowhere over the blue line. Let the shot go. Tucker unable to keep it in. It's inside the line at Denis now. Loose puck right at the Islander bench area. Andrechuk tries to get it free, and they hold it. We'll have a face-off.
Are today's entertainment choices driving you mad? The only sane solution is HBO in November. You'll see the blockbuster Cocoon, Steven Spielberg's adventure The Goonies, Gene Hackman and Matt Dillon in the HBO exclusive Target, and the original HBO picture Sword of Gideon, plus an all-star reunion of America's top comics and a live face-off for a heavyweight title. The decision is clear. Call your local cable company now and get HBO in November.
The Sabres in the Islander zone. The long shot gloved by Smith. Here's Gillies into the corner. Gillies taken to the boards and held there. Now 5 of them are. 4 of them. Again it's held. And with 3:03 remaining here in the first period, we look at Clark Gillies. 2 goals, 3 assists. I believe he picked up an assist in that first goal, so 4 assists for Clark Gillies. There you see, played 12 seasons with the Islanders. 4 Stanley Cup winners. Now talks to Christian Ruutu. One of the few players left in the National Hockey League not wearing a helmet. Show them Gillies. Give your old teammates the willies. Oh, I guess that's unique. Here's Ruutu. In against Brent Sutter. Foligno gets it back now. Housley, long drive. Tipped wide by Rutu. And Janssen gets it back into the Buffalo zone. Housley will go back now to touch it, and the Islanders are called for icing. Look at Phil Housley, and by the way, you can go to the phones right now and order tickets to see the Buffalo Sabres in action for the next 10 home games. Tickets are on sale. Operators are standing by right now through to the end of the game. Call 856-7300. Use your MasterCard, Visa, or American Express. You can also inquire about the Action Pack series. Next start for Buffalo a week from this Wednesday, November the 19th, right here against who else? The Boston Bruins. The Sabres play 5 times against the Bruins this month. They've beaten them in the first 2 encounters by scores of 7-1 and 8-3. And the Bruins still looking for a new head coach. They won last night. They won big in Quebec City, 5-1, with Terry O'Reilly and Mike Milbury handling the coaching chores as interim coaches. Face off in the Islanders zone on the draw. Rutu, it comes back now, taken by Conroy. Gives it to Leader. Leader, the pass up to the line. Here comes Brent Sutter. He tipped it into the corner boards. Fluche behind the net, playing it around the board. The Leader waiting for it, bumped into Foligno. And they get a whistle, and I believe there's a penalty coming up here. A holding call to the Buffalo Sabres. It could be Clark Gillies. Mr. Gillies makes his way to the penalty box. And the Islanders will go to their second power play of the night. Here's the announcement.
Gillies, 2 minutes for holding. Gillies, 2 minutes for holding. The time 17:25.
Look at the penalty here. You'll see Gillies holding one of the Islanders, and as a result, New York will go to the power play. Last night's Adams Division action, Los Angeles edging the Hartford Whalers by 4-3. Boston over Quebec 5-1. Montreal on top in the Adams Division with 17 points, followed by Quebec with 16. Hartford and Boston tied with 13. Buffalo with 10. 2:35 remaining in the first period. Islanders in their second power play in the first period. Sear now lost the draw to Brache, and they whistled it down the Buffalo blue line. This year, after 14 games, the Sabres with 4 wins, 8 losses, 2 ties for 10 points. Last year, after 14 games, they had 8 victories, 5 losses, and 1 tie for 17 points. But they've played 8 home games last year. This is just the Sabres' 7th home game this season. Now Leader back inside the line as the Islanders will try to set it up, but Buffalo leading 1-0. Here's the pass for LaFontaine off the boards. Height trying to get to it. Recovered by Ramsey. Round to the left side to Sear. Potvin blocks that. Here's Trache moving into the corner. Fell down. Gets it behind the net now. LaFontaine trying to get up. It comes right to the goal crease. And Fluche unable to hold on to it. It's still loose. Finally sprawled on his stomach. He reaches through around escape and corrals the puck. With 1:30 remaining of the Islanders power play, 2:05 left in period number 1. An excellent crowd on hand here tonight to watch the Sabres in action. And I'm sure they're hoping that Buffalo pro sports teams will pick up 2 wins here today. The Buffalo Bills winning this afternoon over the Pittsburgh Steelers. And you heard all the action right here on the WBEN radio network. Hold it. No, I'm doing TV. That's right. Funny how you get confused doing this. I was going to mention the next game, Montreal next Saturday, will be WBEN only, and the Rangers game will be on Channel 2 coming up on Wednesday. That's confusing time. Here's Curran. Now starting to come back. Cleared into the Buffalo zone. Comes around, Trache works it into the corner. 1:10 left in the power play now for the Islanders. Trache is cleared finally by Arneal into the Islanders zone. Smith stops it. 58 seconds left here in the power play for the Islanders. 1:29 to go in the first period. Islanders trying to tie it up. Bossy works it to the far side. Cleared now. Recovered by Ramsey, and he slaps it over the blue line. Comes back in. It's an offside call. 41 seconds to go. So far, the Sabres holding off the Islanders during this power play. Here's a look at Scott Arneal. And he's still looking for his first goal in the Buffalo Sabres uniform. He had 18 last year for the Winnipeg Jets, but I'm sure once he finds the range, then he'll be able to start to put the puck into the net. Face off over the Buffalo blue line. Gillies with 41 seconds to serve. Well, we understand King Clancy of the Toronto Maple Leafs yesterday had his gallbladder removed and then sort of real bad spell, and we understand he's in critical condition. King Clancy, the Toronto Maple Leafs, a former referee and player. Management of the Toronto Maple Leafs now, and we understand that he's having problems in the hospital in Toronto. We wish him well. 29 seconds left on the power play. The Islanders coming back, led by Janssen in over the line, but it's an offside call. And New York, they've been having their problems on the road. As a matter of fact, the Islanders, the only team in the National Hockey League yet to win a game on the road. They have lost 4 and they've tied 1. Here's a look at Richard Crom. 24 seconds left. Crom with 3 goals, 3 assists coming into this game tonight in the 13 games that he has played. Face off over the Buffalo blue line. Now Flatley. They go to the corner boards. Here's Bruff trying to clear it. Loose puck. Crom comes up with it behind the net. Trying to get it back to Janssen. Janssen winds up with the pass in front. Here's a chance. Oh, Cloutier robs Flatley. Another great save by Cloutier. Back to the line now. Here's Janssen with it. 2 seconds left in the power play. 36 seconds left in the period. Stepping onto the ice is Clark Gillies. Cloutier again robbing the Islanders. Here's Flatley trying to work it back to the blue line. It comes all the way to center. 25 seconds left in the period. Janssen's pass to Crom. Jacques Cloutier has been outstanding so far here in this first period. He's stopped at least 3 Islander sure goals. They come in over the line. Offside call at the New York blue line. With 12 seconds remaining, Cloutier has faced a total of 10 Islander shots. And there he is. Wins over Washington 4-3, New Jersey 3-1, Boston 8-3. 3rd round pick in 1979. 2.98 goals against average coming into this game tonight. Linesman Jerry Bateman getting ready to drop the puck just over the Islander blue line. 12 seconds remaining in the period. Now it comes back in where Curran has it. 8 seconds to go. Gives it to Morrow. 5. Well, 2 seconds to go, and they get a whistle. That'll bring the faceoff back over the line. Now, Foligno and Basson. Now Curran's there. Clark Gillies. Of course, Gillies never played with Brian Curran. Played against him. Curran was with the Boston Bruins. Seconds left here in this first period, and nothing's going to develop, and they'll bring the face-off back over the Buffalo blue line. Mike Foligno coming through with his first power play goal of the season and his 5th goal of the year. They'll just go through the formality here, drop the puck, and that'll be the end of the first period. The Sabres go to the dressing room with a fine display by goaltender Jacques Cloutier. Billy Smith allowing the 1 goal by the Sabres as the Islanders outshot the Buffalo Sabres by 10-8 in the first period. The Sabres go into the dressing room with the lead. And the score after 1 period of play, the Buffalo Sabres 1 and the New York Islanders nothing.
This game is brought to you in part by Stroh's and Stroh's Light. Now you're talking good times, and Stroh's is spoken here.
Journey to new frontiers with the Discovery Channel. Journey through intriguing programs designed to stretch the imagination and satisfy the inquisitive mind. Programs that take you from the depths of the ocean to the outer boundaries of the universe. Discover exciting award-winning programs that enlighten while they entertain. Travel through time, visiting the places, events, and people that shape man's destiny. Unravel the mysteries of science and technology. Examine the wonders of nature and triumph in the spirit and challenge of human adventure. Join us as we bring the world to you on the Discovery Channel.
Sabres Profile is brought to you by Stroh's and Stroh's Light. Now you're talking good times, and Stroh's is spoken here.
Big period of hockey for the Buffalo Sabres, especially goaltender Jacques Cloutier. Sabres in the lead 1-0, and joining us in this first intermission is Clark Gillies. And Clark, first of all, quite a turnaround from the last game we watched the Sabres play against the Vancouver Canucks.
Well, I don't really know what happened to us there against Vancouver. The 3 games previous to that, we played pretty tight all the way through all 3 games, and all of a sudden we come out against Vancouver and we started giving up some real bad goals. But you know, we talked about it, and I think we realized what we did that night, and we tightened it up pretty well in the first period. As you said, Jock made some big saves, but that's what he gets paid for, you know.
And to say the least, a very emotional evening for you. A lot of memories out there tonight.
Yeah, there's a lot of new players in that club too, but there are some guys in there that I went through a lot of hard times with and a lot of good times. But you know, I've got to put that all behind me now. The first period was a little bit tough, but I feel pretty good right now.
You know, I had an interview with Clark about 2 weeks ago on radio, and I can remember what you told me. I said, well, you know, once you get to Buffalo area, you have a big year, and finally it'll show them, hey, I can stay in the National Hockey League. And I remember you saying that Bill Torrey, the general manager of the Islanders, nobody in the NHL will be any happier than he'll be. He's my friend.
Well, it's true. I had a good relationship with Bill Torrey and Al Arbor as well, and you know, I have nothing but respect for that whole organization from Bill Torrey down. And you know, if I do well this year, I think you'll be happy. I know that's what I'm here for. I want to go out there and show some people that I can still play. My last 2 years haven't been real productive, and I think I have something to prove.
Clark, how do you look at your career at this stage?
Well, I'm just kind of taking it, you know, 1 year at a time, 1 game at a time. You never know what's going to happen, but you know, I've got a little bit, you know, I feel like I'm reborn again. You know, I'm in a new spot. I've got, you know, new players to play with and new responsibilities, things to live up for, you know, for those guys, and they're playing hard for me. So it's a new start, a new beginning, and, you know, like I said, we'll take it 1 game, 1 year at a time and see what happens.
You know, you've been in a lot of Stanley Cup teams with the Islanders over the years, over your career. Was there one common thread through all those teams? Was there one outstanding quality that always stuck out?
Oh, there's no question. I think as a group, I don't think I ever saw 20 guys that got along any better than the New York Islanders did from, say, 1976 to 1984 or whatever. You know, we pulled for each other off the ice, on the ice. If anything happened, there was 2 or 3 guys backing the other guy up. And this was, you know, like I said, that was on and off the ice. We got along so well, and it just, everything gelled. We had a good combination of players, guys that dug, didn't care if they scored. They just worked hard in the corners. We had players that could score. We had players that played defense, and we had tremendous goaltending with Billy Smith. So it takes a nice blend, and we certainly had it.
Well, Clark, it took you a couple games to get rolling, but ever since that New Jersey game, you're going now. Keep it up, and 1-0 lead. We'll see if it holds for a while.
I hope we get more than 1.
That's the score, though, after 1 period of play, 1-0 for the Sabres. We'll be back in a moment with Bruce Hood. You're watching Buffalo Sabres hockey.
Guests on Sabres intermissions receive gifts from Orville's Appliance Warehouse.
Orville's Appliance Warehouse is turning the price world upside down. Orville the Price Cutter is authorized by major manufacturers to slash prices on this Panasonic video recorder. With wireless remote, the video file in your home will flip for Panasonic. Don't miss this upside down sale at Orville's Appliance Warehouse. 2 locations, Amherst and West Seneca.
And from Rudy's, Buffalo's favorite chicken wing eatery, Millersport Highway and Campbell Boulevard, Amherst, who provide a selection of designer Pierre Cardin travel luggage. Choosing wings, choose Rudy's. It's Buffalo's favorite chicken wing eatery, now and for all generations.
Stroh's, fire brewed for smooth, consistent taste.
Now you're talking Stroh's. Now you're talking beer. Now you're talking good times. And Stroh's is spoken here.
Some of the best people in their fields work in today's Navy. People who believe being the best means more when it's done for their country. Navy know-how. It's working for America.
Well, a good period of textbook hockey. One of the things we talked about a couple of weeks ago, we said, let's take the center line out of hockey. And I want to show you why I think it would help the game, open it up, and make it more offensive, and that way would be a little more exciting than some of the close-checking games. If you look on this particular play, you're going to see that Dennis Potvin has the possession of the puck, and we'll roll this now. And as he starts to make his play, you'll see that he passes up to center. We'll take, if we can roll that, and we'll show that the pass is going to go up to Sutter. Now watch Potvin's skate. You'll see his skates actually do come over the line. That still is an offside pass because the puck was behind the line. But look here, right there. In that particular play, Sutter took the pass. It was a legal play, but the point was it was called offside. So be it. It was early in the game. The linesman wanted to get a feel of things. But the thing is that on the play that he has to be behind that line before he can actually take that pass. I say take the center red line out, the defensemen have to stay back more, and you're going to find that it's going to open the game up more. We're on to officiating. We'll talk a little more. This is talking about holding. A lot of holding goes on in the game, and it frustrates the heck out of players. We'll just show you a play, and you'll find this with older defensemen all the while. If you just roll this now, you'll see on this particular play, you'll see that Kenny Morrow, one of the older defensemen in the league, and he's got Dave Andrechuk. Now watch this. He's got one arm around one side. He puts the hand on him. He's got control of him. Ladies and gentlemen, that's holding. And very seldom will referees call it. It's in against the boards. You know, it doesn't matter. But okay, watch this. He lets him go. And as the play develops towards the front of the net, he's going to roll this a little faster now. You'll see he's going to turn around. What's he going to do? He's going to take a hold of him again. The referee allows it, and if he allows that type of thing to go on at that stage of the game, 2 instances right in a row, you know that it's going to continue later. And as I said before, the thing is that it's usually the older defensemen. Even Jerry Korab in later years got to doing a lot of holding. You know, that keeps them in the league a little bit. We're going to take a look now at the power play. We talk about the good power plays that there are in the league and how to kill them properly. We talk about the box. Well, we'll just show you on this particular play how the Islanders do it. And you'll see that they'll set up on the play, and we'll roll it, and we'll show you that the... Okay, now look, you'll see. There's the box. You see the 4 players, the 4 Islander players doing what... Now, just stop that right there, okay? Now, you'll see Arudu's got the puck. You see Clark Gillies down at the bottom. You see the defenseman at the top. Okay, now let's roll that. And you'll see they're doing everything right. Now, if you watch Curran at the bottom, he took one look. He's going to take another look here. He sees that Foligno is out on the outside of him. Now, I don't know why he wouldn't move over towards him, but he's got to watch Gillies. Now, watch this. This beautiful pass comes across, and what happens? Foligno just one-times it, and that's what it's all about, ladies and gentlemen. The quick shot, everybody is off, slanted to that left side, and it comes right through. Lucky pass, lucky goal, but that's what hockey is all about. We'll go to the opposite end, and we'll talk about the Buffalo Sabres and the way they're killing penalties. And I tell you, they're doing a heck of a job. The key is the goaltending. And as we're going to go to it, you'll see the play. We move this, and they go along the boards down into the corner. And good, tough, hard-nosed checking, because you don't want to let that blue team get set up. There's a man that does it as well as anybody in the league. Ramsey takes his man out good. Okay, the Islanders are going to do some forechecking. Watch this. The puck is going to come clear, and it's going to go across behind the net, and a nice pass is going to come across to the open man. It's going to go back. The key on this play is good heads-up hockey. And you'll see the defenseman fire the puck over to the opposite side. Instead of taking the shot on that defenseman or top, look at this man wide open. The key on the play, look at this. Cloutier playing tremendous goal. They say you got to be good to be lucky, and you got to be lucky to be good, and he was both on those. We'll be back at the end of the second period. You're watching Buffalo Sabres hockey.
In
In today's ever-changing world of business, there's only one place that you can turn to for complete coverage of important developments as they happen. Financial News Network. FNN keeps you updated on national and international business news, tips on investing and personal finance, plus all the market action through FNN's continuous tickers. And weekdays at 5, get a complete summary and analysis of the business day on Wall Street Final. Stay informed with Financial News Network. It's an investment in your future.
This baby's mother took drugs. The baby was born hooked. Hard drugs and pregnancy don't mix. A warning from the...
Hi, everybody. Welcome to Kong's Corner. Buffalo Sabres forward Gilbert Perreault and Islanders defenseman Dennis Potvin lead a pack of players who are over 30 and still play an important role of the respective team's game plan. You know, Potvin, who led his team right now into scoring at the start of tonight's hockey game, also a 3-time Norris Trophy winner, also a captain of the 4 Stanley Cup titles with the Islanders, holds a bevy of NHL records, which leads me to the question to Kong tonight. What about the maturity level with players, especially a guy by the name of Potvin who's 33 years old, playing in his 14th season in the National Hockey League? He looks like he's a rookie out there.
Oh, he's been playing excellent hockey from day one for the New York Islanders, and like you said, he does hold a bundle of records, and I think everybody would be interested in this one. He's 24 points away from scoring his 1,000th point, which would make him the first National Hockey League defenseman to ever score 1,000 points. That's really something. But a defenseman is a lot different from a forward. I think you always hear the old cliche or old saying that defenseman is like a good bottle of wine. It gets better as it ages. And I believe that. I played in the National Hockey League for 15 years myself, and I found there's a lot of shortcuts out there, and it takes the ice time and the years of playing to find out these things. Of course, players like Gilbert Perreault and Dennis Potvin, I mean, these players are naturals. I mean, these players were born with it, and of course, they still had a lot to learn. They learned the shortcuts, but now you're saying they're getting older, they're learning those shortcuts. They know how to use it, they're using their heads. They have to stay in good physical condition. Also, they must have to want to play the game. And I think with the records that they both obtained over the season, you can tell that they love the game.
What about the pressure situation for these two fine players? It's often they're out there having a great time. That must be the key in their style of play.
Well, I think so. Like I said, they both enjoy playing the game, and for playing 14 years, Dennis Potvin, Gilles Perreault's in his 15th season. These players enjoy it. They know now that the younger players are here. They have a lot of talent. They have the ability. He's going to teach these players. Maybe some of these younger players are going to teach him a few shortcuts, but he's enjoying the game. You can tell he's got a smile on his face. He's not worrying about making a mistake out there because he knows he's going to contribute to that team some other way.
Dennis Potvin, one of the few defensemen in the National Hockey League currently who leads his team in scoring. Quite a guy. We'll be back with the start of the second period right after this.
Faces. Nobody brings them home like HBO.
The 87 Oldsmobiles at Tunmore. For over 60 years, our friends keep coming back.
I've been buying my cars from Ed Tunmore since he opened in 1923.
George and I bought our very first car from Roger Tunmore.
I learned how to drive in my parents' Tunmore Olds. Now I'm getting one.
When your kids are old enough to drive, tell them to see me for a great deal on the 1997 Tunmore Old.
We'll be around for another 60 years. Come join the family at Tunmore.
This period is brought to you by Tunmore Nissan. We want to earn your business. And by Key Bank. Use your key. Get to where you want to be.
1-0 Buffalo leading in that goal by Foligno at the 7:52 mark of the first period. Islanders with 10 shots, Buffalo with a total of 8. Other scores, Montreal-Calgary in the first period just underway. In the first period, Quebec has a 2-1 lead over the New York Rangers. New Jersey and Winnipeg just underway. And Pittsburgh is playing at Detroit in the second period, no score. St. Louis at Chicago, that's a later start. And we begin the second period here at Memorial Auditorium. Sabres leading 1-0. Both teams at full strength, but on the face-off, Potvin shoots it into the Buffalo zone. Fluke, Ramsey. Up to the line, skates to center, clears it in off the corner boards. Billy Smith trying to hold on to it. Sear had moved in. Smith knocks it to the corner. Wayne Sutter around the boards. Ramsey with a shot, but off the skate. Taken by Sear. Sear worked it back in behind the Islander net. Smith left it there. Potvin. The long pass. Up to Dwayne Sutter. Gives it to Trottier. Into the Buffalo zone. The pass in front cleared by Cloutier. Sear will go after it. Ran into his check and comes back, and Perreault swings away for Buffalo at center. Now to the Islander blue line on that left side. Stops, trying to work it in. He keeps it in. Sear hustles into the corner, tips it behind the net. RDL now. Potvin round to Mike Bossy on the right side. Bossy's pass to Trottier with Dwayne Sutter. Back now for Bossy. Bossy going in. He dumped it right in front, but Perreault was back there neatly. Clears it behind the Buffalo net. Foligno for Huey Krupp. Krupp watched by Makela, but he gets away. Good move by Krupp. Up on the right side for Foligno, and off the skate of Ruutu into the Islander zone. Smith will play it as Gillies comes in. Round it comes to the left wing. Islanders, LaFontaine to the Buffalo line against Krupp. Got by him, but Krupp takes over. Cleared it, not out. There's a pass off the skate of Housley, recovered by Gillies. Gillies up to the line, check from behind. Comes it over the... Here's Housley now. Housley trying to get the shot, going in the backhand. The pass in front. Gillies tipped it in off the corner boards. Makela goes down. Foligno to the ice as well. Ruutu behind the Islander net, trying to work it in front. Now he sends it back into the corner. Gillies behind the net for Foligno. He stops. Smith knocks it to the corner. Conroy in there. Ruutu falls on it. Makela comes up with it for the Islanders. Working it to the line, over the line. From. He is stopped by Housley. Housley spots Priestley with the long hit. Kenny Priestley going in on goal. Takes the shot. Right in front down to Orlando. Shoots. He scores! Gates Orlando. Beautiful play by the rookie Priestley to Orlando. Goal number 2 on the season.
Watch this play here by Priestley. He's going to go wide. He fakes the shot. That way he makes the goaltender do something. Billy Smith is going to stick check him. Didn't bring the stick out far enough, and you see Orlando comes in and scores the goal, but a tough shot for Orlando. Watch how close the puck will be to his body. The puck's going to end up almost right at Orlando's feet, and he has to dig for it, and I mean dig. And that's exactly what he did. Smith was right down, and it went to the upper half of the net.
Orlando's second of the year from Priestley and Housley at 2:18. And Buffalo has taken a 2-0 lead over the Islanders early here in the second period. Morrill clears it to center. Offered at his own blue line. Threw it, knocked into the Islanders zone. Morrill gets it behind the net. Here's Bassett backhanding it, but not out. Tucker is there to keep it in. Morrill getting it off the glass and into the Buffalo zone. Hofford will go back after it. Watched by number 20. That's Dale Henry. A round cut off by Curran. Curran hit by Payma. Hofford around the boards. Tucker jumps it ahead to Andrechuk. The pass too far for Bill. Payma! He's got a break. Here's Payma going in and goes. Shoots. He scores! Will Payma drills in goal number 11 in 15 games. For the newcomer to the Buffalo Sabres, it's 3-0 Buffalo.
And the New York Island defenseman Bobby Passon fools around with the puck a little too much here. Watch him struggling with it. They're just moving it right up right away. Tries to make the big play. It doesn't work out. Paymon has plenty of time to set the shot up, and you can see Smith opened up the legs, shot it right in between the legs. Perreault tried to do it in the first period, but he made the save on Perreault.
Every time Phil Esposito opens the paper, looks at the summary, and see that Paymon has got a goal, he probably cringes.
Oh, I hear they're really on him in New York by not protecting Paymon.
And it really hurt if Paymon goes into Madison Square Garden on Wednesday and scores a goal. And a game winner, that'd be a nice script.
You know, Ted, he sits up there with us, so we'll be able to see the reaction.
The puck back in the Buffalo zone. The Sabres have opened up a 3-0 lead. Ruff getting it off the boards. Gillies, right wing pass to Foligno. At center, moving it into the Islander zone. Gillies going to the corner, puts it right through the goal crease. Back it comes now to a waiting Lindy Ruff. Rutu in front. Foligno was checked by Janssen, could not get it. Islanders back with Flatley, coming to the line. In for Brent Sutter, but there's Ruff after the loose puck. Unable to clear it against Flatley. Sabres have taken a 3-0 lead. Potvin shoots it in off the corner. Mike Ramsey unable to clear it. Ruff into the corner. Around it comes to Gillies, and he just slaps it into the Islander zone. Dennis Potvin will go back after it, and the Sabres will be called for icing with 15:57 remaining in the second period.
So tell me, now that we have this place, are you going to learn to ski or what?
Get to where you want to be. Use your key.
Oh, there. Hi. Look at him go get it.
Get to where you want to be.
There we are.
Use your key.
Yes, I'm sorry. What's your name, Mr. Tom? Are you going home for dinner? I want to play. What's next? Seatbelt.
Key Bank. Where do you want to be?
Face off in the Buffalo zone to the left as you look at the Islander bench. Will Paymont, his 11th of the year from Andrzejczyk and Tucker at the 3-minute mark. Tucker's had 16 assists so far. 1 goal. You're a playmaker, Mike.
Well, he should be at center ice. He has the wingers to set up.
Now Perro in the face-off against Bassi. Comes back to the point. Kept in now by the Islanders. Trache flipped it behind the net. Wayne Sutter fell down. Group along the boards. Here's Trache giving it to Sutter. Stopped by Perro. To the left point it comes. There's a shot by Conroy. Hit away by Boucher. And Sear shoots it back to center. Now Sear at center ice. The pass to Housley. Here he comes with Perro. Back to Perro. Perro with the pass back, but it was blocked. Now the puck into the corner. Conroy gets it around the boards. Wayne Sutter. He drives the break back into the corner. It's taken by Kenny Leader. Now for Conroy. Wayne Sutter slaps it over the line. It's recovered by Sear. Shoots it right back into the Islanders zone. We played 5 minutes into the second period. Buffalo with a 3-0 lead. Leaders pass to the line to Bassi. At center, shoots it in off the stick of Uwe Krupp, and the 6'6" West German defenseman sends it the length of the ice. They go right through the goal crease, so there's no icing. Both teams making a change, and it's cleared back into the Buffalo zone. Trying to get there, touch it as Hopper, and he does. And the Islanders are called for icing. With 14:43 now remaining here in period number 2. So look at Jim Hofford back into the lineup. He's been injured and back into the lineup the last couple of games.
Well, they've been breaking men very nicely. He didn't play all that much the other night against the Vancouver Canucks, but tonight he's taking more of a regular shift and a solid hitter. Certainly the best hitter I've seen in the National Hockey League so far this year. There's a future hitter.
Well, once again, the Delta Sonic Car Wash people are sponsoring Pucker Power. Every time a Buffalo Sabres scores a goal, Delta Sonic will donate money to the charity they're shooting for. Goaltenders involved as well, shooting for donations, of course, for each victory and shutouts. Again, we thank the Delta Sonic people. They donated over $13,000 last year to charities in the Western New York area. Hopper declares it in behind. Orlando tried to dump it in front. Here's the pass. Priestley knocked away, and Crom has it for the Islanders. Knocked down at center. Orlando picks it up at a zone of blue line. Off the board. Hartman did not see it. Curran, he steps in over the line. Hoppard will chase it into the corner. Crom puts him to the boards. Hoppard still comes away with it. Crom chasing him. Now comes back to Height. Hartman clearing it on the right side. LaFontaine gives it to Crom to the Buffalo blue line. It's an offside call. LaFontaine is a couple of strides in over the blue line. There's a look at LaFontaine. He's got 7 goals, 7 assists, and 5 of his goals have been on the power play.
Well, they tagged this on Pat LaFontaine when he came into the NHL. They said he was the franchise. Matter of fact, that's his nickname. They call him Franny. Franchise. But he'll be my guest in the second period intermission, and we'll talk to him about this game here tonight, exactly what's happening to the Islanders. Certainly the Sabres are much more mindful tonight of their defensive duties when you compare their defensive play tonight to their last game against the Vancouver Canucks.
Sabres in action again on Wednesday night at Madison Square Garden in New York on Channel 2 and WGRZ TV and WBEN Radio. Yesterday, the Rangers defeated the Philadelphia Flyers by 3-2 in the first loss by the Flyers on home ice. There's a long shot as the Buffalo Sabres are going to get a penalty. Here's Andrechuk in to touch it. And the Sabres will be a man short when we return, but they lead the Islanders 3-0.
Hey, Tom, you doing another Fenmore spot?
They want to know my choice for the NAL 3-star awards. Sentra, front-wheel drive with room for 5. Second star, the roomiest 4-cylinder in its class, the Stanza. The easiest choice, the Pathfinder. 6 cylinders, 4-wheel drive, and independent suspension make this the first star of the NAL.
Yo, Tom, what is the NAL?
The Nissan Auto League. Once you compare, these cars will be your stars too.
At Tunmore Nissan, we want to earn your business.
Here's a penalty to Dave Andrechuk, and these penalties drive me crazy. When all the player has to do is just take one more stride, and he's right up to him, and City reaches out and pulls him down to the ice. Not a good penalty, and an opportunity for the Islanders to get rolling and back into this hockey game.
Arneal back at his own line. He'll clear it into the Islanders zone. Dennis Potvin. Trache, but it went over the 2 lines, and it is whistled down. The faceoff will come back inside the Islander blue line.
Well, Terry Simpson is the new coach taking over for Al Arbor of the New York Islanders, and he wants his team to be more defensive-minded. He really feels that if the team is playing poor defensively, it's simply because they're lazy. When you think about it, it's true. Not only lazy physically, but mentally. They're not preparing themselves properly for these games and not knowing what the opposition is going to do.
1:40 left on the power play now for the Islanders. Here's the pass to LaFontaine, trying to get around a Height, working in right behind the net. Height goes after him. Loose puck, Ramsey's there. Kluche just reaches around the glove and holds the puck to the base of the net.
It was a good play by LaFontaine. He did the right thing, but he lost control of the puck. The puck jumped up on him and went over the blade of his stick, but the Sabres were very, very smart defensively the way they covered up and just went for the face-off because the players were all over the ice talking about their own players, and certainly that was the time to go for the freeze and take the French face-off. I'll tell you, this is a tight checking game, and Perreault is probably the best player in the ice. Well, he's having another big night tonight.
Face off in the Buffalo zone. Bossy sends it over to Leader. There's the shot right on. And Kluche left the rebound for Height, getting it off the boards. Potvin keeping it in. Right back, and it goes behind the net. Bossy. Now Arneal backhanding it. Not at Poitier. Works it back to Leader. Islanders man advantage for the next 1 minute and 12 seconds. There's the screen shot. Oh, and it hit. Mike Ramsey. You could hear that one right up here. I thought it had gone off his helmet.
I think it did, but what he's doing right now is recovering from shock. And that happens an awful lot. You'll go down to block a shot, and you know you made the mistake. You went down too early. You're in a bad position. The guy lets the shot go because he has his head buried. You see the puck coming right at your face. It's like your whole life flashes in front of you. But I think Mike probably at the last moment, he just changed his head a little bit and moved it in towards the puck. But you're right. You can hear it all the way up here with these earphones on. Here it is right here. Now watch this shot. Ramsey is going to go down a little bit low on the shot, and he bounces off the Islander player right into Ramsey's head. He turned it head at the last moment, caught it on the side of the helmet.
So your whole life would flash in front of you in that one.
You want to believe
you must have a boring life.
Oh, well, I'll tell you, that's scary. You get into a position sometimes where there's nothing to do about it. You can't even move. You're kind of suspended in that position. And you see it coming, but there's nothing you can do about it except take it right out the mush.
Here they come, the Islanders with the man advantage. LaFontaine into the corner, sends it to the far side. Bossy works it back in behind the net again. LaFontaine to the point. It comes to Leader. LaFontaine, Buffalo leading 3-0 second period. Back to LaFontaine. It comes over now to Potvin. He lost it. It comes over the blue line. Now 32 seconds left in the penalty. Sear will go after it. He gets it back to center. Potvin. Bossy at center. Gives it to Trottier. Right onto the stick of Sear, and he has no trouble sending it into the Islander zone. Buffalo makes a change in the penalty killing unit. Coming up front now, Perreault and Arneal. Now Krupp with it, backhanding it into the Islander zone. 3 seconds left. Now Andrzejczyk is ready to come onto the ice. He does. The Buffalo back at full strength. The Islanders are 0 for 3 in the power play. Sabres lead in the game 3-0 with 11:44 to go in the second period. Waiting for it, Andrzejczyk can't clear it. Here's Perreault. Up for Arneal, too far. Now for Makala. Makala trying to get in there. Perreault takes him to the ice. They both go down. Now Housley's in there. Flatley. Here's the shot right on to save the rebound. And firing it off the side of the net there with Flatley. Back to the point. Now to Janssen, the drive. He scores. Thomas Janssen. And the Islanders get on the scoreboard as Janssen drives in his second goal of the season. It's a 3-1 score, Buffalo.
And now the Islanders have some life. Now they're only down 3-1, but you're going to see the importance of defensemen putting the shot on the net. Right here, he sets it up. He has a good look, and he just picks the far corner. Cloutier was screened somewhat in the play, but at the last moment, watch his left pad darting out to try to make the save, but it's too late. He really got good wood in that shot, and Buffalo gave him a little bit too much time to set up and push the puck ahead of himself before Beat and skate into it.
Buffalo 3, New York 1. Morrow back into the corner. Andrzejczyk chasing him. Here's Tucker now. Fastens there. Tucker on the boards, reaching in and clearing it as Alan Kerr. Tucker chases it back into his own zone. Gives it. I tried to give it to Pavon. The puck slides into the Islanders zone. A loose puck knocked away by Smith. Now behind the net. Oh, Henry put it right in front, and Smith had to bat it to the boards. Pavon trying to keep it in. Here's the pass back to the line. Russell's there, keeps it in. Andrzejczyk trying to get away. Boots puck. Here's Pavon. Moves into the corner. Right behind the net. Still with it. Looks back at the point. Sends it to Ramsey. There's the shot. Blocked. Tucker can't get to it. Kerr one-hands it. It comes back over the line. Tucker has it. At his own blue line, halfway point of the second period. Now to the Islander line. A drop back right onto the stick of Alan Kerr. Trottier steps away from Pavon. Now to the Buffalo line. He's hit, knocked away from the puck. Ramsey unable to clear it. Now the Islanders go into forecheck. Andrzejczyk comes just over the line. And back now to Conroy to the Islander line. And the puck deflecting over the glass into the crowd on the far side. Sabres in front, 3-1. Smith playing in just his 4th game of the season. The 2.92 goals against average. Apparently he had a bit of a back problem earlier. Kelly Rudy started the last 8 games for the Islanders, playing a total of 10 overall, winning 6 and losing 4. He's the backup goaltender tonight. Conroy sends the puck into the Buffalo zone. Luce around the glass. It hits Sear. Sear now gloves it back into behind the net to Dwayne Sutter, right through the goal crease. And Perreault is there on the far side. He just shoots it to center. Leader. Now Bossy left it for Dwayne Sutter. The pass back. Height recovers. He backhands it off the leg of the referee, and that allows the Islanders to keep it in. Here's a break, but now it's tipped back to center right. Conroy. Now Now Leader getting it back to the Buffalo line. Mike shoves it through to Sear, but it went over the 2 lines. It's an offside call.
Another reason the Islanders are motivated to do well this year is simply the division that they're in. Kid, in other years, I think they realize that, hey, we have a free ride to the playoffs in our division. Not anymore. With the way New Jersey and Pittsburgh are playing, they're going to have their hands full just fighting those 2 teams off.
Well, Philadelphia on top with 21 points. Pittsburgh second with 20, and then it's the Islanders and Washington tied with 15 each. New Jersey with 13. Rangers hold down the basement with 10 points. It's amazing. The Rangers, they played a 9 overtime games. They've lost 5 of them.
Yeah.
And they've only played 13.
I have never seen so much parity in the National Hockey League as this year. There really are not too many free rides anymore in a given night.
And the Sabres' next opponent will be New York Rangers on Wednesday night at Madison Square Garden. Huey Krupp in deep into the corner behind the net comes to Housley. And he gives it to Orlando. Knocked it ahead to Hartman into the Islanders zone. Cleared by Potvin. Waiting for it on the left wing is Crom at center. Shoots it in. Orlando back to take it, trying to turn away from Bakala. Now Priestley dumps it off the glass, comes over the line. Hartman. Now Dennis Potvin has it at his own blue line. He swings it over to the far side, gives it to Dineen, shooting it back in. Krupp bumps in there with Crom, and Hartman has it. Beats it to Orlando. Priestley on his left. Up into the Islander zone. Left it for Priestley, moving in with the slap shot right on, and Schmidt holds that one on the arm. 3-1 Buffalo leading.
Get to where you want to be. Use your key.
Over on the far side. This is a great place. You know, the owner should be really proud of what he's done around here.
I am. Thanks.
Get to where you want to be. Use your key.
You think they're going to finance us?
Are you kidding? They love us.
They love us. You better let me do all the talking.
KeyBank.
Relax, partner.
Where do you want to be?
Kenny Morrow.
You know what they call him? He might be the hairiest guy ever in the National Hockey League. They call him the Wolfman. I mean, this guy has hair on the balls of his feet, in his hair, in his nose, and his ears.
Face off in the Islanders zone. Here it's Ruutu. Now Brent Sutter is trying to come away. The pass to Rupp. Lifted into the Islanders zone, gloved away by Morrow. Rupp shoots it right back in. Sabres have a 3-1 lead with exactly 8 minutes remaining to play in the second period. Flatley into the corner. Gillies goes after him. Now Sutter tipped it back to Billy Smith, where Curran takes over.
Bring it up!
Comes over the Islander blue line. Now at center. Goes to that far side. He'll shoot it out in where Kluche. Rupp. Gillies trying to clear it. Unable to. Now Ramsey's there to help. Flatley. Ramsey rolls it back to center into the Islander line. Brent Sutter's going to get off the board. That's kept in now by Polino and Gillies. It'll come around to the right point. Rupp blocks it. Backhanded in. Ruutu. Here's Curran. Ruutu after Curran. And Ruutu steps away from him. He's got Polino in. Here's Ruutu going right in front with the shot. Smith makes the save on Ruutu. Ruutu against Curran. Curran is a giant. Ruutu, with the great skills that he has, Mike managed to get away. There's a backhand drive high and wide. Shot down the ice and into the Islander zone. Buffalo called for icing.
I've been talking about this for weeks.
Weeks? I've been thinking about this for months.
I know, it's a tough decision to make, but I have a feeling that this is it.
And I know this is the place.
Hi, I'm Ray Schmidt, and at Tunmore Nissan we'll make your buying decision easy by offering the best price, service, and selection in Western New York. The hardest part is trying to decide which Nissan to choose from Buffalo's only Nissan Award of Merit dealer.
Tunmore Nissan, 2677 Delaware Avenue, 1 block south of Kenmore.
At Tunmore Nissan, we want to earn your business.
Face off into the right of Kluche. Buffalo 3, New York 1, 6:51 remaining. In the second period, Tucker against Basson. has it. He clears it down the ice and back into the Islander zone. Conroy will go back to take over for the Islanders. Buffalo with the 2-goal lead. Here's Paymont trying to keep it in. Now Hofford, oh, and he took a run at Conroy. Oh boy, that hurt. Hofford will go for elbowing. And that's a tough one to take at this point, with Buffalo leading 3-1 in the second.
See one showroom, you've seen them all. Wrong. Harold's factory-trained experts can replace your factory radio with an AM/FM stereo or cassette in any vehicle with a full 1-year warranty on parts and labor. And don't sleep in your car to protect your investment. With Harold's burglar alarms, he's history.
For maintaining the speed limit and for safety's sake, install one of Harold's radar detectors. And remember, the name is Harold.
Now the thumper, Hofford here, has this guy spread eagle. You can see his arms right apart, and actually Jimmy could have went into him with his shoulder, but he brought the elbow up at the last moment and caught him pretty high. Good call by the referee.
Hofford has gone for elbowing at 13:30.
For Montreal with the penalty for elbowing in Montreal.
Face off just over the Islander blue line. And the Islanders go to their 4th power play opportunity. But the Sabres need to hold them off here. This is a very key situation for the Buffalo Sabres penalty killing unit. As it's cleared by Flatley into the Buffalo zone. Kluche leaving it for by Ramsey. Loose puck in behind the net. The puck going high into the air, knocked down. Islanders, around it comes Janssen at the left point. In it goes to Flatley, side of the net, back to Flatley, left it in the corner, comes back to Flatley. He's got Crum in front of the net, left point, long shot, they score! And the Islanders connect for their 2nd goal of the night and their first power play goal in 4 attempts. And you'd have to say it's a new game.
Certainly is. And watch this shot by Thomas Janssen. Once again, the shot is on the net. Look at the damage. I think that might have deflected in off the stick of Mike Ramsey. If not, certainly one of the players that was standing in front of the net wearing the blue uniform. But Janssen that went off right off Ramsey, either the skate or the stick. There's not much you can do about it. It wasn't Ramsey's fault. You see the puck there, and it's just instinct to kick at it and try to stop it before it goes to the goal. But this is like a one-man wrecking crew. This Thomas Janssen coming up with a big period. Now the Islanders are all fired up back in this hockey game. You know, something else about Kenny Morrow, besides being a bit hairy. He has the worst knees in the National Hockey League. They're hoping they would nurse him this year through 40 games, and so far he's been the best defenseman by far in this Islanders team.
Janssen has scored 2 goals in a row for the Islanders. This second one from Flatley and Brent Sutter, 13:59. Now Arneal and Dwayne Sutter. Arneal's trying to get at Dwayne Sutter. What happened there?
A little bit behind the plate, Ted. Nobody could really see it unless you were in the crowd sitting right in the corner. But Sutter has a way to fire his team up, and that's the way he does it sometimes. Besides scoring goals, he'll be antagonistic, and he'll get all over the opposition and try to suck one of the opposing players into a penalty. Not this time. I believe they're both going. And nobody's looking. You know, he looks around a little bit. He doesn't see the referee, and then a little jab here, a little jab there. And by the time the referee turns around, he sees the retaliation. Well, you know something? It worked. There's only one penalty. That's exactly what Dwayne Sutter did. I don't think the Islanders picked up a penalty. That's exactly what he pulled off, and he was successful.
Scott Arneal heads to the penalty box, and Mr. Dwayne Sutter is also moving in. He was just waiting.
That's right, just teasing us. Hey, we'll have a look at it and see what caused the problem here. Watching the corner here, Dwayne Sutter comes in with the elbow. That's what he gave the elbow right in the mush to Scott Arneal, and Arneal gets up and he gets nailed for the retaliation penalty. 5:44 remaining in this second period. We're into a great hockey game here. 3-2 Sabres in the lead. Shots on goal. The Islanders out shooting Buffalo 15-11.
Islanders have had 5 shots here in this period. Buffalo 3. The Sabres lead it by 3-2 with the face-off over the Buffalo blue line. Deneen for Potvin, back for Deneen at center, shoots the rolling puck into the Buffalo zone. Bossy moves in there. A loose puck in front of that, cleared away. Orlando with Perro. The pass to Perro. Knocked it inside the line, cleared. Trache worked it right back into his own zone, giving it to Deneen. Potvin. 5:20 now remaining in the second period. Right wing pass off the boards into the Buffalo zone, cleared off the glass, and Deneen again back at his own blue line, giving it to Potvin. His pass right back into the Sabres zone. Ruff backing up, watched by Crom. Now for Ramsey. Ramsey turning away from LaFontaine. Knocked it off the back of Potvin, who shoots it right back into the Buffalo zone. Luce getting it off the boards, tipped through the center ice area. Now the pass comes to Kerr, gets it in. Oh, back to Kerr, reaching for it. Good save there by Sear. There's a shot, knocked away. The loose puck, Luce makes the save, and Kerr keeps it in for the Islanders. Back in behind the net. Makala into the corner. He tries to step away. Gets behind the net, right in front. There's the shot. Luce robs LaFontaine from in front. Back it comes now. The Islanders putting on some heavy pressure. The shot, they score! Went off the right pad, I believe, of Luce, and the Islanders have roared back to tie this game at 3-3.
It's amazing what a little bit of enthusiasm does to a hockey club. Watch this. Nice work. The pass comes all the way across between the legs of Orlando. Once again, the damage coming from a point man taking a long shot. Luce thought he had it, but it went in off the left knee and part of the glove hand. But a very, very good shot here by the defenseman for the Islanders. He struggles, but still he found a way to get it on the net. And that's the key to the whole thing. These defensemen that wind up, they try to put the puck through the back boards are crazy. Take something off the shot, just make sure it's on the net. If it doesn't go in, more than likely there will be a rebound. Things happen if you put the puck on the net.
Conroy gets his second goal of the season, and the Islanders have come back to tie this game. Now Krupp lets it go around to Foligno. He cleared it, and here comes Krupp, breaks into the Islanders zone with Gillies. He's got Howe, drop pass to Howe. He goes, and he goes, shoots. Smith makes the save, and the puck is underneath Smith's left pad as Housley almost put the Sabres back into the lead here in the second period.
Presenting VH1 Video Hits 1. It's one of a kind. VH1.
Well, the Sabres played so well in the first period, Ted, and now the wheels have fallen off the wagon, and they really have to get themselves together here on the bench and get talking to one another and give each other a little confidence. This game's a long way from being over, but right now the Islanders are just having a heyday.
That third goal by the Islanders, Conroy, is second from Kerr and LaFontaine. It's 15:40 to tie the game at 3. Rutu at his own line. Gives it to Krupp. Left wing pass to Gillies into the back pass now to Krupp. Back over. Foligno will try to get to it to the boards. Knocked flatly into the boards. Rutu unable to keep it in. Housley at his own blue line. Off Gillies. Taken by Rutu. Who sidesteps one and shoots it into the Islanders zone. Smith leaving it there. Flatly. Rutu. Here's Gillies. In front of the net, but it's knocked away. And Janssen sends it just over the line. Gillies has to wait for Rutu to come back onside. Housley off the boards, and Buffalo will make a change. Pavon steps on with Andrichuk and John Tucker. Islanders on the attack at center, clearing it into the Buffalo zone. Krupp recovers. Trache's now on. There's the pass up to Andrichuk. Ahead too far for Tucker. Tucker one-handed in off the corner board. Potvin moves in. Pavon takes him to the corner board. Deneen's in there. Here's Pavon. And Tucker into the corner. Tucker comes up with it. Still has it. Trying to work it back against Bossy. Tucker falls down. Knocked down from behind. Andrichuk keeping it in. It goes to the side of the net. There's a weak shot. And Smith makes the save on Pavon. Pavon really couldn't get a good shot away. He was checked by Deneen. And they go to close quarters with 2:43 remaining Go to the phone now and order tickets to see the Buffalo Sabres in action. Tickets on sale for the next 10 home games. The next start will be against the Boston Bruins on Wednesday, November the 19th here at Memorial Auditorium. Operators are standing by right through to the end of the game. Use your Visa, MasterCard, or American Express. And also inquire about the Action Pack series. So call now.
Well, the Islanders get second life here in this hockey game, and there's one player the Sabres have to keep an eye on, Michael Bossy, the best. Oh, here's a fight. Arneal's going at it, I believe, with Sutter. That's the last scrimmage they had just about 5 minutes ago. The sweater's right over the head of Arneal, and Sutter's just flailing away. Pretty tough for Scott Arneal to throw a punch when he doesn't know what to throw it at.
Well, he's probably saying thanks for the elbow, Mr. Sutter, and trying to get something.
Well, listen, I'll tell you one thing. Scott Arneal, he shows up to play anyways. A lot of players who just pull away from those situations. He doesn't. He stood right up there and battled. 2:43 remaining in this second period of play. Pat LaFontaine will be my guest in the second period intermission.
2:43 remaining. This reminder, if you'd like to keep up to date on the Buffalo Sabres, you can call the Genesee hotline. 24 hours a day. Call 856-5522. That's the Genesee hotline, 856-5522. Buffalo Sabres, you're up to date, of course, by calling the hotline. Well, both of them have picked up 5 minutes for fighting. 17-17, a 3-3 tie. By the way, the Buffalo Sabres will be running a bus excursion to the Rochester Americans game on Sunday, November the 23rd against the New Haven Nighthawks. The price of the excursion is $15 per person, which includes the bus transportation and a red ticket for the game. Reservation will be taken by the Booster Club booth in the Terrace Street lobby at Buffalo Sabres game nights, or by contacting the group sales department. Now the puck is in the Islander zone. We are late here in the second period. Watche dropping it back, gives it to Deneen. Steps away from Perro. The pass over to Puckmash, shooting, but it's an offside call at the Buffalo blue line. A moment ago, I happened to look back, and Billy Smith was raising his stick at one of the Sabres as he cruised by in front of the Islander net. A little fake job, probably, by Mr. Smith. There he is, Billy Smith, the only goalie to be credited with a goal in a shorthanded situation. As when they pulled the other team, naturally had pulled their goaltender. Face-off just over the Buffalo blue line. Gilbert Perreault against Trottier. We are tied at 3 with 2:18 to go. Leader shoots it in. Luce gloves that, leaves it for Ruff. Now Ruff getting it off the glass to center to Sear. Head to Orlando. Into the Islander zone. Trying to step by Leader. Taken by Sear. There's the shot in behind the net. It's recovered now by Henry. Fires it back into the Buffalo zone. A pass comes right to the goal crease. Ramsey giving it to Orlando. Long pass over to Perreault. Ruff coming up on the play. Dropped it for Ruff. There's the shot, but goes wide. Now the Islanders will try to break, but Ramsey's there. Gives it to Orlando. Sends it back in onto the stick of Trottier. The shot. It hit Ramsey. The puck is loose, and Orlando takes over. Now gives it to Ruff with the pass onto the stick of LaFontaine. Works it back now to Crom. To the line. Here's the pass. Went behind LaFontaine. Ahead to Perreault. With Orlando, they come into the Islander zone. The puck is just sitting there. Makela trying to get away from Ruff. Jams him to the boards. Here's Crom. In over the line. He's got Curran with him. The pass. Comes back to the line where Ruutu, tied up by LaFontaine. 1 minute 5 seconds left to play in the second period. Ruff. The corner boards. Oh, and he stepped right up in front. It's coming back out of the line to Morrow. There's the shot. A loose puck in front. Slapped away to the right side. Orlando now gives it to Ruutu. At center with Housley trailing it over the drop pass to Housley. Over it goes to Foligno. Fired it wide with 45 seconds to go. There's going to be a penalty to the New York Islanders. Foligno tripped up in front of the Islander net as he swept in there on goaltender Billy Smith. Hooking call. Crom goes to the penalty box. Buffalo will go to its third power play of the game. They are 1 for 2 in the power play. And here it is. Foligno working in, but he's just taken down by Fromm. And he has gone to the penalty box with 45 seconds remaining in the second period. Very big goal for Buffalo to be able to score in the final 45 seconds of this period. They'd go into that third period with a one-goal cushion. Tucker in at center with Andrechuk and Priestley. Back at the points, Housley and Krupp. On the face-off, Tucker gets it back to Housley. Here's Housley into the corner. Andrechuk winds up with the shot. Wait on. The rebound. They try to clear, but Andrechuk gets it again. One-times it back to Housley. Along the blue line. Housley over quickly to Andrechuk. There's the shot. Smith the save. The rebound. Smith puts the glove on it. He smothers that one. And with 29 seconds left in the period. Islanders have had 19 shots overall, 9 here in this period. Buffalo with 15 overall. And 8 in this period. 7, excuse me. Face off again in the Islanders zone. 3-3 tie. Buffalo man advantage. 29 seconds left in the period. Tucker on the draw against Brent Sutter. Puck rolls right in front of Smith. He slaps it to the boards. Here's Tucker. Now to Krupp. Gets it back into behind the net. Housley into the corner. He left it there. Tucker at the left point. Flashing it off the glass. Andrechuk. Andrechuk with 12 seconds to go in the period. Housley with the drive. And it's good. Oh, this puck sitting there. Slapped away. 6 seconds to go. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. In front. Knocked away. That's it. Second period over, folks. They'll go to the dressing room. All tied. After 2 periods, shots on goal in that period. Buffalo 7, Islanders 9. Islanders with 19, and the Sabres with 15. Sabres making their way to the Buffalo dressing room as the Sabres had taken a 3-0 lead, but the Islanders came right back to tie it. And with the final score, with the second period score, after 2 periods, it's the Islanders 3, the Buffalo Sabres 3.
This period has been brought to you by Key Bank. Use your key. Get to where you want to be. And by Tunmore Nissan. We want to earn your business.
So tell me, now that we have this place, are you going to learn to ski or what?
Get to where you want to be. Use your key.
Oh, hello there. Hi. Look at him go get it.
Get to where you want to be.
Here we are.
Use your key.
Yes, I'm sorry. Watch your fingers, Carl. Are you going home for dinner? I want to play.
Chris, put on that seatbelt.
Key Bank. Where do you want to be?
Around the NHL is brought to you by Genesee Light Beer. Try it. You won't believe it's a light beer.
Welcome back to our second period intermission. My guest in this period is Islander forward Pat LaFontaine, and quite a turnaround, a very tight checking first period of play, but things opened up a little bit in the second, Petty.
Yeah, Mike, that was a big period for us. We started using our defensemen a little more, and as you can recall, all 3 goals were pucks that were back to the defense and just shot towards the net, and guys were conversing on the net, going on the net, and fortunately enough, we got all three of them went in, so you know, it's important for us to get that tie right now going into third.
You know, Patty, I preach about that until I think all the fans at home listening through the season, they're sick of me by the end of the year, but I'm always talking about how important it is for that defenseman to get the puck through, and it's not necessarily how hard the shot is, but give you guys an opportunity to get a rebound or maybe a deflection.
Oh, yeah, it's so important, and once you start doing that, you start opening things up. You get guys running around in their own zone, and you know, you shoot the puck at the net. If it goes wide, you kind of get them scrambling, and fortunately, like I said, all 3 pucks were on net, and I think one of their defensemen tipped in the second one.
That's right.
And just screens, it's hard for that goaltender, and we hopefully we'll continue that.
Isn't that the idea, though, Pat, on a power play, to get the opposing team a little confused, get that box breaking down where they're running around left and right and they really don't know where they are?
Oh, yeah, that forechecking is so important. You get the guys running around, you get them coughing up pucks. You just, you know, that's so important, that forechecking to establish the dominance out there. You got to get out there and get those guys running around, and that period was important for us. We had to come back. We were down 3-0, and you know, we haven't had a road victory, so this is an important game, and we got to go out there in the third same way we did in the second.
Patty, how was the first period different than the second period? I mean, you pop your 3 goals in the second, and the first, you look very confused.
Well, I think we were working very hard. It just wasn't clicking, and you know, like I say, we were working, we were grinding it out, and it just seemed that we kind of the puck was bouncing our way. We were working a little harder, and you know, like I say, we opened things up when we were passing it back to our defensemen, and we got them running around. You know, we were running around a little in the first, and we tried to change it and play our type of game, and we got to continue that to win this game.
Patty, new coach this year, Terry Simpson. You had Al Arbor for a couple of years. Tell us the difference between these 2 men.
Well, you know, it was a good experience for me to be under Al Arbor. I learned a lot, and a lot of the game helped me out a lot. And Al was more quiet, I guess you could say, and he was more quiet of a coach. He kind of expected things and didn't talk as much. Terry does a little more talking, and it's just a little bit of a change. It's very positive and enthusiastic, and I think it's very positive for the team so far. The team's responded real well to him.
Pat LaFontaine, you're a great player. It's fun watching you play. Good luck in the future.
Thanks, Mike.
The Buffalo Sabres and the Islanders are tied up at 3. We'll be back in a moment with Bruce Hood, and you're watching Buffalo Sabres hockey.
Guests on Sabres Intermissions receive gifts from Orville's Appliance Warehouse.
Orville's Appliance Warehouse is turning the price world upside down. Orville the Price Cutter is authorized by major manufacturers to slash prices on this Panasonic video recorder. With wireless remote, the video file in your home will flip for Panasonic. Don't miss this upside down sale at Orville's Appliance Warehouse. 2 locations, Amherst and West Seneca.
And from Rudy's, Buffalo's favorite chicken wing eatery, Millersport Highway and Campbell Boulevard, Amherst, who provide a selection of designer Pierre Cardin travel luggage. Choosing wings, choose Rudy's. It's Buffalo's favorite chicken wing eatery, now and for all generations.
The great outdoors and Genesee beer have a lot in common. They're both clean, fresh, pure. In the late 1800s, the American buffalo was almost extinct, but today the herds are thriving. Now, that's worth drinking to with the premium taste of Genesee beer. Genesee beer, the great outdoors in a glass.
And try Genesee Light. You won't believe it's a light beer.
I've never had a light beer that tastes this good. I finally found a light beer that I will drink, Genny Light.
Are you pregnant? Don't take any kind of medication unless prescribed by a physician who knows you're having a baby. A warning from the March of Dimes.
Well, the New York Islanders must know something. They scored 3 goals in that period from the left point. All the shots from right out there. They weren't hard, but the timing was right. Some screening in front of the net. But what we're going to show you now, and I talked a couple of weeks ago about the fact that Phil Housley is playing much better hockey with Uwe Krupp, and we're going to show you on this play as we go to the monitor the fact that the playmaking that he does and the way he sets it up. Now, on this play, watch, he intercepts this play very alertly, takes a look, and he sees Ken Priestley up there, and watch this beautiful lead pass he gives him. Look at there, 2 other players, Mike Hartman and Gates Orlando, are right there, but very sharp playing on the part of Priestley. Holds and holds. And in that situation, Billy Smith is dying. He's thinking, what's going to happen? What's going to happen? And he makes his commitment and ends up beautiful play. But the key on the whole thing was the fact that Housley made the play. And I'm saying to myself, hey, he's playing much better this year. We're going to show you, though, on the very next play, where the fact where Mr. Housley makes a mistake. He goes to play the puck at the blue line. Now watch on this play. He takes a little poke check at the puck near it, and on this play he ends up pulling the New York Islander player down. There's no penalty on the play. It doesn't matter anyway because they're going to score. Now he comes in, he takes the man in this situation rather haphazardly, but also loses the puck. And now you'll see on this play, and this is where the point play comes. There's a one mistake right there. Krupp comes out of position. One opportunity to score, two opportunities to score, and watch this. The puck's going to go back to the point, and sure enough, the long, low shot, and that was the first of 3 in that period. So you've got to know that the Islanders must say, hey, if you're going to score in this little Cloutier, you've got to do it from out there by the blue line. You know, we talk about Gilles Perreault and how exciting a hockey player he is and how he's led this Buffalo Sabres hockey team. Just fantastic. But I'll tell you something. The New York Islanders have got a player fun to watch and really works hard, and that's in the person of the team leader they've got, Mr. Brian Trottier. And look at this. Now, these are some of the things that we see Gilles Perreault doing here an awful lot, and this is what Trottier does well. He, in this particular play, eludes a couple of players. He gets checked by 3 different players on the play, and you're going to see it doesn't stop him. He tries to get back to the puck. He's taken out by a Sabre, but this still doesn't take him from his route. And he's probably one of the best body-checking centermen in the National Hockey League. And you just watch as he comes right in here and he finishes off with his check on Mike Ramsey. And that's what it's all about. That's exciting stuff to watch. We'll be back at the end of the 3rd period. You're watching Buffalo Sabres hockey.
Journey to new frontiers with the Discovery Channel. Through exciting programs designed to stretch the imagination and challenge the inquisitive mind. Join us on a fascinating voyage of discovery on the Discovery Channel.
This baby's mother took drugs. The baby was born hooked. Hard drugs and pregnancy don't mix. A warning from the March of Dimes.
Hi, everybody. Welcome back to Kong's Corner. A nasty opponent, the injury. In this week's issue of Sports Illustrated, a dramatic report in the National Football League updating all of the injuries this year. Ironically, in this week's issue of Hockey News, there is also a dramatic update report in injuries of this game played. Last year, need we say more about the injuries that affected this organization, Buffalo and Rochester, but most importantly now, injuries in the National Hockey League. The recovery period, something that people don't know or understand how long it takes a player in the National Hockey League to recover. Well, the gentleman who's sitting to my side obviously has recovered from a lot of injuries. Jerry, just give us an idea of what it takes after a player has been injured to recover and recuperate on the time to come back to top caliber play.
Well, what you really have to go back to is going back to training camp, and you wonder why they have training camps. It's for the main reason of conditioning. So when you can imagine a player going through a training camp probably about a month and a half, plus all the little things he does during the summer to rebuild his body and get in good physical condition. All of a sudden you're out on the ice, you tear ligaments in your knee, you go under surgery. Well, that's the easy part because you're out for that operation and you don't feel a thing anyway. So, and when you wake up, they put you on a little bit of medication, they throw a cast on your leg. Before you know it, you're out of the hospital and you're walking around with a cast. But the big thing is going to the therapist after you get that cast off. Now, it's a fact that after 3 days of sitting around and doing nothing, you can possibly lose all muscle tone in your body. And that's the big thing you really have to work on, is getting that muscle back. So you could lose that muscle in 3 days, which took him 6 to 7 months to get to. So the therapy is very important. You have to do it, and it's very nerve-wracking. You know, you start out lifting a 2-pound weight, which you can't even get off the ground, and you have to work your way up to maybe to 150 pounds, which you were doing before it happened. So there's a lot of things that go on that people don't know about. I think that's the most important thing that happens to a hockey player. Getting injured, being able to come back after a serious injury, that takes a lot.
Let's go to the draw the line between the report in Sports Illustrated about steroids. Are they being used in the National Hockey League? Can they be used? The guys have to be flexible.
Well, really, they do conditioning now. They're doing a lot of aerobics, and I think they're mainly worried now in the National Hockey League about league about being able to go out there and being durable, being able to be out on the ice for 2.5 minutes if you get stuck, being able to breathe out there. I think that's the main thing they're working on now. Strength comes. You're doing a lot of skating, you're doing a lot of shooting, you're automatically going to become strong at it. I don't think professional athletes really need steroids. I don't really know if they use them. I have never heard of it in the National Hockey League or on any team that I have played for.
The injuries are mounting, ladies and gentlemen, as again, not only in the National Football League, but in the National Hockey League. You be the judge on what happens to a player. Is it steroids? Is it to the fact that the game has increased, the players in size? Or is it to the old adage of once you're injured, you have to rehabilitate, and that is very important. Something that teams, I'm sure, are taking into consideration, Jerry, that you have seen in a long time about players getting back onto the ice.
Well, it's tough, and like I said, it takes a lot of time, and you're going to find out that more and more teams are hiring specialists at the same, trainers that are able to come in after an injury, be able to work with you and help you to get back into shape.
No question, one of the meanest opponents in professional sports, the injury. Score is tied at 3. Buckle your seats for a wild third period. We'll be back.
Take on the world!
Why keep a secret? It's hard to know who to trust, isn't it, Jack?
We'll never be sick. We won't get any older, and we won't ever die.
If you were given a choice between love and friendship or eternal life,
Peppa! Wait a minute!
which would you choose?
David!
Cocoon.
You've learned how to be here now. Spot the games people play. Read body language and memorize the 1-minute manager. You've even developed a passion for excellence. Today, there's an easier way to win friends and influence people.
So I'm saving all my love for you.
Just turn them on to the right one. It's as simple as
VH1.
The great outdoors always reminds me of Genesee beer. It tastes so fresh, so clean. Now, some things in nature change, like the ptarmigan changes colors with the seasons. But the premium taste of Genesee beer never changes, because it's made in just one brewery. Try Genesee beer, the great outdoors in a glass.
And try Genesee Light. You won't believe it's a light beer.
I couldn't believe that this was a light beer. Of all the light beers I've tried, I really have to say that Genny Light is the best.
This game is brought to you by Genesee Beer. Quality brewed in one place since 1878.
3-3 tie after 2 periods of play. Orlando put Buffalo into a 2-0 lead, then Paymark came back to make it 3-0 at the 3-minute mark, but Janssen replied with 2 goals. But the Islanders at 8:48 and 13:59, then Conroy tied it up at 15:40. Shot down goal in that second period. Islanders 9 for a total of 19. Buffalo 7 for a total of 15. Other scores, Montreal and Calgary, a scoreless tie in the second period. Rangers have come back to tie the Quebec Nordiques at 3-3. It's in the second period. Quebec had a 3-1 lead. In the first period, Winnipeg leading New Jersey 3-1. Detroit with a 1-0 lead over the Pittsburgh Penguins. In the second, St. Louis and Chicago, scoreless tie in the first period. Look at the standings. Montreal on top with 17 points, followed by Quebec with 16. Hartford and Boston tied with 13. Hartford losing last night to the Los Angeles Kings. And Buffalo with 10 points. Boston beating Quebec last night 5-1.
That was a gutty effort by the Boston Bruins. Boy, they played miserably last week, but Terry O'Reilly behind the bench with Milbury, and they put it together. They got the job done in Quebec. It's tough to win up there.
And what's going to happen in this third period? Tied at 3. Krupp at center, carries it into the Islander zone, squeezes by 1, then lost control of it, and Brent Sutter dumps it right back into the Buffalo zone. Islanders. A man short for 50 seconds. Sabres going to the power play. This is their third power play opportunity. They're 1 for 2 in the power play tonight. Now Krupp at center. In over the Islander line. Shoots it behind the net. Foligno there. Now Gillies moves in as well. And with 31 seconds left in the penalty, it'll be a face-off in the Islanders zone.
Well, I would expect the Islanders, there's a look at Clark Gillies, 12 years with the New York Islanders, 4 Stanley Cups. He's one of the most dominant players in that organization for a decade. What a hockey player he was. He's right in his prime when I had to play against him, and it was no joy, but a very honest, clean hockey player. Tough in front of the net. He'd work you over pretty good along the boards, but there's a look at our Oregon player, Joe Mankowski. A neat little outfit. He just walks around from section to section, and that's where he plays the organ from, right from there. Interesting. Nice concept this year, and I think it's a lot of fun for the fans. They get involved.
Face off in the Islanders zone to Buffalo in the power play with Tucker in against Trunche. They try to get it back, and back to Housley. Moves it along the blue line. Off the boards. Curran tries to clear it. It's recovered. Bossy gets it over the line. Picks it up again. Now Bossy with it. Buffalo with 14 seconds left in their power play. And Woodchuck. And it's on the blue line. 8 seconds remaining. Now the pass for Payma. Giving it to Tucker. Tucker tried to get it back to Woodchuck, and Morrow comes up with it, and the Islanders are at full strength. Housley. Watched by Crom. Krupp. Islanders make a change as Krupp brings it back to the line. Shoots it into the Islanders zone. Dennis Potvin. Now recovered by Crom at center. Can he get into the Buffalo zone? Luce. Out for Mike Ramsey in the corner. Stopped by Crom. Here's Makala in there as well. Rutu. It comes back to the line, intercepted in Foligno with Gillies. Rutu trailing. Shoots it into the Islander zone. Smith scoops it behind the net. Rutu waiting for it. He puts it right in front. Oh, tipped wide by Foligno. Back it comes now to Ramsey. He keeps it in, but onto the stick of Crom. And the long pass for Makala. Off the boards into the Buffalo zone where Russ starts to bring it back quickly for Buffalo. At center. Now into the Islander zone. Left it there for Gillies. There's the shot just wide. Islanders try to clear it. Makala in there against Foligno. And the puck comes back to the Buffalo zone. Sabres will make a change. And Ruff goes back after it. And Woodchuck steps back on. Now the pass for Foligno. Conroy. Knocked down at center. Shot in by Brent Sutter. Here's Ruff around the board. Sutter tried to keep it in. Comes right back to center. Now Morrow to the far side, giving it to Conroy. We are in a 3-3 tie, and they get a whistle with 17:05 remaining in the third period.
Curious to know how computers and musical instruments can work together to help a writer create a movie score? Want to learn how a script is used during the shooting and editing of a film? Interested in seeing what the camera misses in a stunt like this? Then tune in and meet a composer, a script supervisor, an editor, and a stuntman when HBO travels behind the scenes to present this month's edition of The Movie Makers.
Ted Darling with Mike Robitaille, Memorial Auditorium in Buffalo. 3-3 tie, third period action. Bossy has control for the Islanders. Slaps it into the Buffalo zone. Hofford will go into the corner. He cleared it, but not out. Wayne Sutter keeping it in. Now Height. Getting it up to the right side to Arneal. Ahead to Farrell. Back now for Arneal. But it's too far. It goes into the Islanders zone. It comes back over the line. Hofford has to wait. Taken to the boards by Trunche. And now Hofford sends it in. Smith beats it behind the net. Brian Curran. Oh, and he has trouble with it. Has to go back in behind the net. Up on that left side. Wayne Sutter. Into the line. He gives it to Bossy. There's the shot. Luce. reaches out, grabs that one to hold on.
You can imagine Bossy in such a horrible angle like that, and he still challenges Cloutier for the goal, but Cloutier really was sharp with the glove hand. But look at Bossy, he almost spins himself right around. He shoots off balance. The puck is still on the net, heading right for the corner. Believe me, that's a goal, fans, if he doesn't come up with the save. The deadliest shooters to ever play the National Hockey League. Look at that. Off balance, way off in a bad angle, and still pots that puck right into the far corner.
Bossy holds the record for consecutive 50-goal seasons, 9. Face-off will be into the right of Cloutier.
That first period by Cloutier looks pretty big right now, Ted.
Sure does. Brent Sutter now in against Ruutu. Comes back to Dennis Potvin. There's the shot. It went off flatly and now cleared by Foligno. Waving off any icing. Deneen goes back to retrieve it. Now gives it to Potvin. Up to the line to Dwayne Sutter. At center. Shoots it in right on. Cloutier knocked it down. Clearing it in off the corner glass. Ruutu after it for Buffalo. Looks up the ice. Decides to carry it in behind the net. With the long pass to center. Now to Foligno to Gillies. Up to the Islander line. Back to Foligno. We're going right in and goal. The drive and oh! Just shot. Out and wide to the far post. Krupp giving it in. Foligno into the corner. Taken to the boards by Potvin. Gillies moves in. Jansson's there. Here's Ruutu. Ruutu trying to get away from Deneen. Foligno down. Oh, and he is taken to the ice heavily by Potvin. Jansson deflectly into the Buffalo zone. There's the slap shot blocked by Krupp. He stepped in front of it. Knocked out flatly again with a kick over the line by Krupp. Monroy shooting it in. Both teams making changes. Owsley's pass up on the left side. Here's Ruff trying to get to it. Now taking it by Crom. Crom trying to get in and goal. Cloutier makes the save there. What a save on that shot by LaFontaine from in close. And it's right back into the Islander zone. Andrechuk moves in. Now recovered by Leader. Back with it for the Islander. The pass to Kerr at center. He flipped it on into the Buffalo zone. Lindy Ruff will go in behind the net, being chased by LaFontaine. Ruff now stopped by Crom. It goes free to Paymont. He tipped it to center ice. Leader to the far side to Conroy. Right back to the Buffalo line. Ruff at center. He gives it to Andrechuk into the Islander zone. Looking. The shot goes off his skate to the corner. Paymont blocks it to keep it in for Buffalo. Puts it to the side of the net where Leader recovers for the Islanders. Paymont, he took a run at Leader. Leader jumped away at the last moment and the puck comes back into the Buffalo zone. Ramsey will go after it. We are in a 3-3 tie with 14:11 remaining to play in the third period. Paymont off his skate, recovered by Fuente. Here's Bossy, always dangerous. Back now to Kern in on goal. Cloutier stops Big Brian Curran, and it remains a 3-3 tie.
What is it about Genesee beer that makes me think of the great outdoors? Well, it's pure. It's natural. And like the Bighorn sheep, Genesee knows you have to be really competitive to succeed. So Genesee goes all out to give you a premium taste. Genesee beer. Now that's the great outdoors in a glass.
And try Genesee Light. You won't believe it's a light beer.
It's a light beer, but it's a hearty beer. Somebody has finally found a way to make a good light beer. Genesee Light.
Well, certainly tonight the accent is on goaltending. Watch this opportunity right here for the New York Islanders. They move it right to the side of the net. You see Cloutier goes right across with the puck. Perfect timing, and he was there to make the save.
On that face-off with Hofford into the corner. Here's Trottier behind the net. Hofford still goes after him. It comes to Sear. He has with him Arneal on the right. Sear steps to the line, winds up with the shot. Went in behind the net. Here's Arneal jumping it to the goal. Crease, and Morrow comes away with it for New York. He sends away Trottier. In with Bossy. Flipped it in front to Bossy. He shoots. He scores! What a play. Trottier to Mike Bossy. And Bossy connects for his 7th goal of the year.
Boy, this is beautiful. Watch Trottier right here with the backhand pass, not the forehand. Perfect timing. He gets free from Billy Height just enough to put the blade of his stick onto the puck. We've watched this play happen probably 1,000 times between these two forwards. How well they get along together. And look at the pressure. The pressure that was on Mike Bossy. He had big Billy Height draped all over him, going as fast as he could go, could barely see the puck, and he still came up with the timing to drill it into the far corner. Unbelievable goal scorer, Mike Bossy, the best I have ever seen.
And it's a 4-3 score. The Sabres had taken at one point a 3-0 lead. Islanders have come back with 4 unanswered goals to go in front 4-3, and the goal by Bossy from Trottier and Morrow at 6:25. Bossy 7th of the year. Flatley in the far side. Trying to get it back. A loose puck. Here they come. Gillies now into the line. Russo breaks him further at the pass to Russo, and he fired it wide. Now Polino will go after it. He sends it in front. Off the skate. Up Deneen. Cleared over the line. Flatley tips it out into the Buffalo zone. A rolling puck. Ring center in there. Along with Housley, and Housley steps away with it. Polino shooting it to center. Knocked away by Gillies. Gloved down by Conroy for Leader. The pass in now to the Buffalo zone. Here comes LaFontaine, flipping it high, stopped by Cloutier on that short side. With 12:42 remaining, and the Sabres now need a goal to tie this game. If you look at Jacques Cloutier, who's faced 25 shots, 6 of them here in the third period.
I was just going to say, Ted, 6 shots by the Islanders, no shots on goal by the Buffalo Sabres. We've almost played a half a period of hockey here, and the Islanders have come out very, very hungry. I thought they might start playing kind of a defensive game, but not so. They've continued to go right on the offense.
Tucker and LaFontaine. The puck comes back over the Islander blue line. Conroy. Ramsey trying to get to it. LaFontaine for Leader to Conroy. Off the boards for Crom. LaFontaine reaching back, keeps it in. There goes Alan Kerr into the corner with it. Rupp goes to the corner boards. Rupp trying to kick it around to Pavov. Kerr now bumped by Tucker. Now Tucker finally comes up to and gives it to Amplichuk. At center. Still with it. Knocked down from behind. LaFontaine off the board. To Crom, to Flatley. Here they come to Kerr. Kerr winding up with the shot. Blocked by Ramsey. LaFontaine gets it in front. Unable to get the backhand shot away. Was Kerr. Kerr tipping it to the far side. Now recovered by Kerr. And there's a long shot gloved by Cloutier. Decides to hold it. And 11:48 remaining. The Islanders lead 4-3.
Boy, it's a pleasure doing these spots for Mernon Chevrolet. I feel really good telling everyone about Mernon. Who's got the script for this?
I'll get it for you in a minute.
Okay, I know. We've got to tell everyone how proud Mernon is to be Buffalo's only Chevrolet dealer and how they've been centrally located at 2751 Bailey Avenue for over 50 years. And did you know, thanks, that over 45% of Mernon's customers are repeat buyers? And then we've got to tell everyone about their beautiful line of 87s. How are we going to get all this in 30 seconds?
You already have it, huh?
Great. Mernon Chevrolet Bailey Avenue.
11:48 remaining in the third. 4-3 Islanders lead. Face off in the Sabres zone. Now Perreault on the draw. It's recovered onto the stick of Perreault. Ahead to Sear. Clearing it to the Islander line right up to it. Wayne Sutter looks for a help. Gives it to Bossy. Bossy has scored the go-ahead goal for the Islanders here in the third period. His 7th of the year.
You know, Ted, you're looking at Brian Trottier right now, one of the all-time great centermen to ever play this game. And all the years I played in the National Hockey League, they're, without question, the strongest guy I've ever played against. And I know he's not strongest physically. There's a lot of guys in the NHL that might be stronger, but I have never run into anybody as strong as him. That's one guy I didn't want to hit in open ice. I'd hurt myself all the time. What a competitor. So strong on his skates. It was murder going back to the puck with him on your tail.
Now Morrow to the far side. Curran at center. Shoots it in. Here's Housley. Trying to get away from Trottier, and he's taken to the ice. Bossy. Now Housley Working it. Oh, Bossy gives it to Dwayne Sutter. Quick shot. And that one goes off the glass and into the crowd. A souvenir to a young man from Lockport. 4-3. Islanders lead.
In today's ever-changing world of business, there's only one place that you can turn to for complete coverage of important developments as they happen. Financial News Network. FNN keeps you updated on national and international business news, tips on investing and personal finance, plus all the market action through FNN's continuous tickers. And weekdays at 5, get a complete summary and analysis of the business day on Wall Street Final. Stay informed with Financial News Network. It's an investment in your future.
11-12 remaining here in the third period. The New York Islanders looking for their first victory on the road in 6 starts. They've lost 4, they've tied 1. And Buffalo would like to keep them winless on the road, but they are down by a goal. The Sabres are up. Up on that left side for Gillies. It comes to center. Deneen waits for 2 teammates to come on side, steps in, rattles it off the corner boards. Here's Ruff giving it to Foligno. Ahead now to Gillies with Brutu. At center, Gillies into the Islander zone. Still with it. He left it there for Ramsey. Unable to get the shot. Ramsey moves into the corner. Loose puck at the side of the net. The Sabres have yet to get a shot here in this period. Here's Ruff keeping it in. Ramsey will go into the corner with Dennis Potvin. Now Foligno. Foligno bump to the boards, and that allows Brent Sutter to come up with it, and he works it behind flatly and into the Buffalo zone. Ruff. Both teams making a change. Steered to center. A loose puck now. Foligno taking it back. Kerr steps to the line. The pass to LaFontaine. Gillies comes up with it, unable to clear it. Kept in by the Islanders. Crom, a long shot, tipped away by Ruff. It comes back down to the point, knocked over the line by Orlando. Leader has it, halfway point. They've reached here in the third period. Now Kerr. Back it comes to Conroy. There's his pass into the face-off circle. Ruff comes away with it. Now gives it to Orlando. They've got a 3-on-2 over to Foligno. Foligno the far side. The shot, but it's deflected over the glass and into the crowd. Sabres have yet to get a shot with 9:46 to go.
Fresh air, blue skies, clean water, and Genesee beer. They're all part of the great outdoors. Just like the harp seal spends its whole life in the cold Arctic, Genesee beer is cold-aged to bring out all the premium taste you could ask for. Genesee beer is truly the great outdoors in a glass.
And try Genesee Light. You won't believe it's a light beer.
Is it really? Is it really light beer? Light or not light, this is an excellent beer. Jenny Light's great.
Phil Housley gets set back at the blue line with the face-off in the Islanders zone. 9:46 remaining. 4-3, New York leading.
You know, it's funny, Phil Housley, everybody says, oh, he doesn't hit here, he doesn't hit there, but believe me, right now, probably everyone in this building is looking at him to score the big goal. There's so much offensive talent. Some players maybe just don't have it all, but he's awful handy to come around. Boy, he'll come up with those big goals for you.
Now Housley at center to the Islander line, left it there for Orlando. Back to Housley, the shot on! Tama was there after the rebound, and he couldn't get it.
Did it sound like a prophet there?
Almost. Almost. Sure did. Here's Crotche. Clearing it in. Housley works it behind the net. Now to Krupp. But his pass comes right back to center. Crotche. Out through back into the Buffalo zone. Kluche goes way to the corner. Flipped it behind the net. Krupp has it. Here's the pass, but it's blocked, and it's recovered by Priestley. Shoots it to center. Now Deneen trying to get it away. Comes right back to Potvin. Up to center right. Now to Trottier at center. Fires it in. Islanders will make a change. Buffalo changing as well. Arneal steps on with Paul Sear. Coming away with it now is Housley at center. The pass gets it to Perro. Offside call at the Islander line. 8:46 remaining.
Well, now the Islanders, they're beginning to play as tight as a mouse's ear defensively. They are going to be tough to crack. Going to play good stand-up hockey. You'll see 2 or 3 people always lined up at the blue line. Buffalo will probably have no choice except to shoot the puck in on many occasions and go in after it. here's a chance for the Buffalo Sabres. Right here, you can see Phil Housley chops at the puck. Bill Smith does not make a good save on it. The rebound is right there for Wilfred Paymont, and he just about breaks his stick on the ice for disgust.
Close to 14,000 fans on hand tonight to watch the Islanders and Sabres do battle as Denis carries it to center, shooting it into the Buffalo zone. Ruff back to the corner. Sears there with Brent Sutter. Now Sear attempting to clear it. Flatley has it. He had Janssen in front looking for a hat trick. Back it comes to Dennis Potvin. The shot and the rebound was right into the corner. Now back it comes to Flatley. Side of the net to Janssen. His shot into the stomach of Puche. Janssen putting up at a forward line.
Well, he might as well. He's already scored 2 goals tonight. He's a little guy, and he moves very, very well. He's an excellent skater. There he is right there. 2 big goals in the second period to put the Islanders back into the hockey game. He's been around for quite a while, and as I mentioned, he's not a very big man, yet he can dangle on those skates, and he knows how to play the game. It's no big deal to play in a tight checking game. He just eats it right up, and he gets the job done. This is a fine hockey game here tonight, and as the game goes on, it's even getting better. The drama is starting to thicken here. 8:17 remaining in this third period. The Islanders up by 1 goal, face-off in the Buffalo zone.
Rutu and LaFontaine. Rutu wins the draw. Croup into the corner. LaFontaine is there as well. It comes back. There's a flip shot cleared by Housby to Foligno. Left wing pass broken up at center. Fired right back into the Buffalo zone. Housby moves into the corner with Crom. Housby took a shot from Crom, but he comes away with the puck. Gives it to Croup. He just slaps it around the boards. It'll go into the Islander zone. Conroy will go back after it, and Buffalo is called for icing with 7:52 now remaining, and the Sabres have managed just 1 shot here on Billy Smith in the third period, and you can't go score the goals unless you get those important shots.
No, I'll tell you something else the Islanders are doing right now. The wings are coming back extremely hard for the Islanders. They're picking up the puck carriers, the Buffalo Sabre puck carriers, as they come off the ice, and if they don't, certainly the defenseman then can stand up and pop the puck carrier because the wings are covered. He can take advantage of that situation. The wings don't come back. The Buffalo players are left wide open, so he has to back in to his own zone.
Now on the face-off, kicked away by Foligno. At the line, there's the pass for Gillies. Again, it's broken up at center. Now the Islanders come right back. Croup in front of his own net with the pass to Rutu. As Gillies, there's the pass to Gillies. Into the Islander zone. Gillies backhanding it to the side of the net. Conroy around the boards. Here's Croup to keep it in now for Buffalo. Nobody there. Back to the left point. It's slapped to center and Rutu. Uh-oh. I don't know what's happened there. Gillies right at the Islander bench with Kerr.
Well, they just about took Kerr out to Main Street on that check and tried to drive right to the boards.
Journey to new frontiers with the Discovery Channel. Through exciting programs designed to stretch the imagination and challenge the inquisitive mind. Join us on a fascinating voyage of discovery on the Discovery Channel.
Well, there's Kerr and Gillies along the boards. You can see Kerr gives Gillies a shot, and he takes a header into one of the Islander players, and he turns around and just gives him a reef. I'll tell you what, he give him all he wants. I'll tell you, that's the last guy in the league you want to fight is Clark Gillies.
They both go for roughing.
And Ted, you mentioned, and there goes Gillies. He's going into the visiting box. What a habit.
I think the linesman had to grab him by the arm and send him over the Sabres penalty box. Curran at center. He flipped it into the Sabres zone. A Ruff will go in after it, and it's whistled down at the Buffalo blue line. 7:09 left here in the third period. The next start for Buffalo, Madison Square Garden on Wednesday night against the New York Rangers, a 7:30 start on Channel 2, Cable 3, and on WBEN Radio. And then Saturday in Montreal against the Canadiens. And it'll be radio coverage only from the Forum at Montreal and WBEN, beginning with a pregame show at 7:35, and then back home to play the Boston Bruins on Wednesday, November the 19th.
Matter of fact, that night, Saturday, we'll be doing the radio that night, Ted, and Larry Carrier will be joining us as a guest analyst.
Now Mike Ramsey steps to center, shoots it in off the corner boards into the Islander zone. Smith to the corner. Bossy in there with Priestley. Trottier tries to get away from Ramsey. It's kept in by Orlando behind the net. Curran will go to the corner. Islanders have a 1-goal lead. Trottier. Now Potvin will go after it. 6:45 left in the third period. Sabres need a goal. Tie this game. Trottier. Wayne Sutter shoots it in, and Cloutier grabs that one. Now the pass to center. Here comes Payma. There's the shot. Smith the save, the rebound in front. And the low drive by Payma. Smith coming up with the save and Flatley shoots it now back to the Buffalo blue line. Ruff had it knocked away by Janssen. Well, after that rolling puck, slaps it around to the left point, comes over the blue line. Potvin unable to hold it in. Flatley has it. He'll clear it in. And it goes right over the glass into the crowd. With 6:05 left here, the Islanders outshot Buffalo 27-17. Islanders with 8 shots in this period. Buffalo with 2.
You know, the Islanders are smart right now. Just watch very carefully when you see one of the Buffalo players come down the ice, how the defenseman forced them to the outside. Payma was a perfect example. It's been a little while since Buffalo has been in the Islander zone, but that Islander defenseman took Payma way to the outside. He had to take the shot from a bad angle. Billy Smith just stepped right up and stopped it with his pads and cleared the shot very easily. But well-trained defense right here for the Islanders. They're working well right now.
Tucker at center to the Islander blue line. Now gives it to Krupp. Gets by one. Is knocked out. Round it comes and over the blue line and back into the Buffalo zone. The Sabres need a goal desperately to get back into this game. Krupp can't clear it. Here's Janssen with a drive, and it's in behind the net. Gloved by Cloutier. He flips it up now for Tucker. Tucker at Makala. Now Krupp bumps into a check. Gets it back in behind the net. Housley with the pass gives it to Krupp. He's got Hartman. Slides it through to Hartman into the Islander zone. The long shot high and wide. Recovered by Leader. Now Leader. Right wing pass too far for Makala. Here's Ruff taking over. Now Ruff trying to get away from LaFontaine. He punches back at center and out of the Islander line. Ruff moves into the corner right behind the net. He's taken off the puck and it's cleared right into the Islander bench area with 4:54 now remaining here in the third.
Well, they continue, as I mentioned, just putting those Sabre players on the outside, making it awful tough for them to come up with this tying goal. Very possibly they might get the shot in off a rebound for taking the shot on the bad angle, and that's what you want to put in the puck, put in the net right now. If they can get a hold of it long enough and come up with a decent opportunity. He'll have that for 5 seconds. See that little kid right next to him? He'll snatch it right out of his hand. I had those bad habits when I was a kid.
Stealing pucks?
Oh, anything. Well, I didn't have the money to buy one.
Face off over the Islander blue line. Ruutu and Trottier. 4-3, the Islanders lead. Ramsey tips it right back into the Islander zone. Morrow getting it off the boards. Blocked by Ayers. Gillies, the pass in front, but it's intercepted by Wayne Sutter. Up on the left side out of Trottier. Trottier gets it back in front of the net. Ramsey didn't see it. Here's Bossy trying to work it in front of it off the skate of Mike Ramsey. Bossy still with it. The pass Ruff knocked away by Cloutier, and it comes now to Gillies. Gillies pass. Polino at center to the Islander line. Steps into the line. Trying to get to the puck. A loose puck, and there goes Polino right into the goal. Loose puck. Polino trying to get up. Curran holding him in the goal crease. Back it comes to the left point to Ramsey. The shot, and it's blocked.
You see Polino take a run at Smith.
Wayne Sutter after it into the corner. Behind the net to Trottier, brings it right out in front. He's knocked out, and Scheer breaks away. At center, up to the Islander line, into the corner. Scheer still with it. Works it in front. It went off the skate of Krupp, who is in deep from his defensive spot. Now Housley. Around it comes to Perro, and he missed it. Now Scheer will go after it at his own blue line. 3:42 left. Knocked down by the Islanders into their own zone. Denis. Housley. Now Perro. Time beginning to to run out here in the third period. The clock becoming a factor. 3:25 to go. 4-3 Islanders lead. Rupp goes back to take it. Quickly gets it to center. To Arneal. Back to Arneal. Into the Islanders zone. Stops against LaFontaine. And it's back into the Buffalo zone. Housley's there. Tried to leave it. Push puck in behind the net. Side of the net. Recovered by Rupp. Arneal. His pass to a breaking Andrechuk. Andrechuk into the Islanders zone. The long shot, and Smith the save and batted off the glass and into the corner. Alan Kerr moves in. Perreault is there. 2:50 remaining. Here's Pavon. Pavon to Perreault. The shot. They jam at it. Smith. And Smith has control right in the goal crease as they had a chance there to tie the game.
They're watching. They're listening. To law enforcement officers,
surveillance does it all.
Modern surveillance techniques have revolutionized police work, but do only criminals have something to fear?
Anybody can walk in and buy it over the counter without question.
It means to me that we don't have privacy anymore.
How public are our private lives? What happens if lie detectors lie? Find out when America Undercover presents Surveillance, No Place to Hide.
Here's an opportunity for Buffalo to tie it up. There's Perreault, lets the shot go. There's Smith with that right pad save. Rupp went in to try to slap it in by Islander goaltender, but to no avail, and it remains a 4-3 score. Islanders lead, 2:45 to go. We look for Jacques Cloutier to leave the goal in favor of that extra skater. Now Tucker. Up front with Pavon and Andrechuk. On the face-off, it comes back for Curran, recovers for the Islanders. The pass to Trottier. Krupp turns at his own blue line. The pass through to Andrechuk with Tucker, and he had trouble. Housley with it. He dropped to the back, gives it to Krupp. Now the pass and into the Islanders zone, taken by Andrechuk. There's Tucker. Tucker is stopped by Curran, who took the puck away from him. Krupp gloves it down. Now through to Pavon, but he has stopped. Comes back to center. 2:15 remaining. Knocked away. The puck slides through to Cloutier. Here's Housley. Tied up now by Dwayne Sutter. A kick at it. Krupp there. Trottier. Housley. Now 2 minutes left in the third. Housley's pass to Tucker at center. Back to Andrechuk into the Islanders zone. Andrechuk along the boards. Kick. And by Tucker. The puck is still loose. Trottier finally comes up with it. 1:47 to go. Cloutier still in the net. Here comes Dennis Potvin at center. Lines up with the long drive. Cloutier the save. Flatley tried to get in there. Here's Flatley with it for the Islanders. Back to Janssen, the shot. Cloutier the save, and Gillies waiting for it. Sends it, but not out. Here's Gillies keeping it in. Flatley in behind the net for Rupp. Dropped it in now to Housley. 1:25 to go. We can look for Cloutier to lead the goal. He looks over at the bench. Now coming up to the news, Ruutu, stopped at center by Kerr. Now Ramsey. Here's Polino up to the Islander line. He fell down, but he got it in on Smith, who leads it. Leader. And it shot back into the Buffalo zone with 1:06 to go. Ramsey. Oh, Luke. Oh, here's a chance. LaFontaine with a drive, and Cloutier the save. Ruutu in behind the net. With 53 seconds to go. Here's Cloutier, and he breaks towards the Buffalo bench in favor of the extra skater. They've got 6 skaters now. The Buffalo net is wide open. Here now is Polino into the corner. It's cleared. Comes back to the line. Ramsey, does he keep it in? Yes. Behind the net it goes to Polino in front. And it's cleared by Crom, and he gets it to center. 33 seconds to go. Now to Andrechuk. Andrechuk shoots it right back in. It's in behind the net. Smith leaving it there. It's cleared on the boards. Here's Ruutu now with 23 seconds to go. It is tipped away by the Islanders back into the Buffalo zone. Ramsey will go back quickly to touch it. Islanders call for icing. 14 seconds left in the third period. And here is a situation where the Sabres, I believe, will be calling a timeout. 14 seconds to go. They'll be trying desperately to tie the game to send it into overtime. Your director tonight has been Paul Roon-DeWald. Director Paul Whelan. Producer Paul Whelan, I should say. 14 seconds remaining. Islanders threw with a total of 30 shots, 11 here in the third period. Buffalo with 6 shots here in the third period. But the Sabres had taken a 3-0 lead. Islanders came back with 4 unanswered goals to go into the lead, and that's the situation the Sabres find themselves in right now. As Jacques Luce has gone to the bench in favor of a 6th skater. Faceoff will be in the Islander zone. They were called for icing a few moments ago. Well, we'll see what happens. We'll see whether or not the Sabres can through with a goal and send this game into overtime. Faceoff will be into the left of Smith. Tucker will take the faceoff. Also on with Tucker, Housley, Krupp, Payman, and Richuk, Gillies. So it's a must at this moment for the Sabres to gain control on the faceoff in order to get a final shot on goal before the end of the third period. Here they go now with Tucker against Tranche. 14 seconds left. 4-3. Islanders lead. On the draw, they battle for it. It comes in front. Another 10 seconds to go. That's it. 8 seconds remaining. Tranche moves in after it. He's got it. He tried to move it in front. 3 seconds to go. And that's it. The game's over. The New York Islanders winning their first game on the road in 6 starts. They congratulate goaltender Billy Smith as the New York Islanders defeat the Buffalo Sabres by a 4-3 score. And in the third period, 1 goal in the third period, the game winner in the third period for the Islanders, scored by Mike Bossy from Tranche and Morrow. At the 6:25 mark, it was Bossy's 7th goal of the year. It was a game winner for the New York Islanders. Bossy at 6:25 shots on goal. Islanders 11 for a total of 30. Buffalo 6 shots for a total of 21. And a very disappointed Buffalo Sabres hockey club. A very happy New York Islander team, by the way. So the Sabres dropped their second game under new head coach Craig Ramsey. Now we're waiting for the 3-star selection.
From the Islanders, Patrick Flatley. The 2nd star from the Sabres, Mike Foligno. And the 1st star from the Islanders, Thomas Janssen.
Thomas Johnson with a 2-goal night. The New York Islanders defeating the Buffalo Sabres by 4-3. We'll be coming up with a post-game show in just a moment. So the final score, once again, the New York Islanders 4 and the Buffalo Sabres 3.
This game is brought to you by Genesee Beer. Quality brewed in one place since 1878.
Welcome to LA.
U.S. Secret Service. I'm arresting this guy for counterfeit.
To live in Some of the best people in their fields work in today's Navy. People who believe being the best means more when it's done for their country. Navy know-how. It's working for America.
Well, it's all over, and the Islanders defeat the Buffalo Sabres tonight 4-3. And our guest in this post-game shows the first star of the game, defenseman Thomas Johnsson. And I'll tell you, your team will never be accused of not working. It was a lot of work out there to win that hockey game tonight.
Yeah, before the game, we promised each other just go out and work really hard because we haven't won on the road yet. And next week we're going to go on a 3-game road trip, so we really want this game tonight.
Thomas, did the Islanders change their style at all late in the game once you got that 1-goal lead, or did you just continue to plug away the same as before?
Actually, tonight, in the last 2 minutes, we asked the wingers just peel off, in their end. If you don't have a chance to check, so we just play really safe in the last 2 minutes. Yeah. But before that, our game is forechecking and work hard, and try to get the puck deep in their end and hopefully feed the defenseman and try to get the puck on net and let scramble on the net.
Hey, Tommy, a new coach this year, and Terry Simpson, has he changed things much for Mel Arbor? Or are you thinking a little more defensively now than before, or how do you stand with him?
Well, I think it's almost the same system, but we work really hard. We practice hour and a half and almost every day, and we try to work on that forechecking drill.
Well, that practice, that's tough on an old man like you.
No.
Tommy, you got 2 goals tonight, and you really split the thing wide open. Had a big game, of course, the first star tonight for the Islanders. And we're going to have a look at both these goals, Thomas, and give us an idea of what you're trying to accomplish.
Yeah. Well, then on the first goal, Patrick Flatter gave me just beautiful pass and have lots of time, and I took my time and I tried to hit the net, and it went in. Oh, yeah.
Now, here's the second goal right here.
The second one was on the power play, and we really talked on that before the game too. Just few passes and then just shoot at net, and I didn't even look there, and I guess it went out for one of their guys.
And you know something else? I'm watching this game tonight. Everybody, I think, in the National Hockey League are waiting for the Islanders to completely tail off. I think they're all waiting for Bossy to slow down, Trotz to slow down, and Dennis Potvin. And they continue to play so well.
Yeah, I mean, look at those 3 guys. I mean, it's unbelievable hockey play, and in their practice, they work hard, and they're super guys. I mean, it's really nice to be around those 3 guys.
You know, it's Clark Gillies?
Oh, yeah, I really miss
him.
Good guy, Super guy. I mean, when we was around Clark, always have something to laugh about.
Thomas Johnsson, first star of the game. The Islanders win tonight 4-3. When we come back, I'll be here with Jerry Korab. You're watching Buffalo Sabres hockey.
Are today's entertainment choices driving you mad? The only sane solution is HBO in November. You'll see the blockbuster Cocoon, Steven Spielberg's adventure The Goonies, Gene Hackman and Matt Dillon in the HBO exclusive Target, and the original HBO picture Sword of Gideon, plus an all-star reunion of America's top comics and a live face-off for a heavyweight title. The decision is clear. Call your local cable company now and get HBO in November.
Are you pregnant? Don't take any kind of medication unless prescribed by a physician who knows you're having a baby. A warning from the March of Dimes.
Our big worry right now is Jerry Korab's concerned that I'm taller than he is. But listen, I'll shrink down and I'll go like this. Jerry, what did you think of the game tonight?
Well, I came in here after the first period. Mike had mentioned, I thought that was the best period of hockey they played this year so far. And I don't know, they came out in the second period. They sort of played a half-decent period, but I think the big problem is they were backing up. Islanders got 1 goal, then all of a sudden looked like Panic City out there. The score was only 3-1 at the time. You still got a 2-goal lead. But if the Sabres, I thought, would have played more offensive in the other end of the rink, I mean, they just sort of started backing up and they slowed it right down. And Islanders got 1 goal, got a little bit of confidence. That's the point there, that you got to turn the game back towards your way, but they just seem to let Islanders take it from there.
And a lot of accent on the first star of the game tonight, Johnsson. He really broke the game wide open, and the importance, Jerry, putting that puck on the net. You know that, being a defenseman yourself.
Like I mentioned, he said he shot the one there on the power play. He said he didn't even look where he shot it, but it eventually did hit the net, hit someone in front of the net, and went in the net.
By the way, I'm John Gertler. No, I'm Mike Robitaille. John had to run out of here tonight. Mary is his wife. She's gone to the hospital for their second child. So, John, if you happen to be watching here, we're all pulling for you and your wife. You're not going through much pain, but give her love to your wife. I'm sure things will turn out fine. Jerry, let's get back to this game just for a minute. The turning point of the hockey game. Was there a turning point in this game, or did it just happen gradually?
Well, I think it wasn't too gradual because, like I said, I thought the Sabres had the game in hand for the first period and a half. I think it got turned around when the Islanders got their first goal. It sort of gave them a little more zip. And like I had mentioned earlier, at that point in the game, the Sabres have to turn right back around. They got to come back and put more pressure on the Islanders. They sort of laid back and they waited for the Islanders. They gave them the opportunities. And let's face it, the Islanders are a Stanley Cup champion team. These guys aren't going to quit when they're down 3 or 4 goals. So you give them 1 goal, you know they're going to get a couple more, and they just outplayed them for the rest of the game.
What's our friend Craig Ramsey? What's he getting into here, Jerry? That's 2 games now, and he's lost both games. I'll say one thing. The Sabres played a lot better tonight than they did against the Vancouver Canucks. They showed a little spunk tonight. And so even late in the game, they started hitting a lot of people.
They were, first period half they did it, Mike, but you got to do it for 60 minutes, especially against a Stanley Cup championship team like the Islanders. I think their big thing was, I don't know, Craig Ramsey's in a position now. They come here, they win 2 games. They lost 2 games in a row now at home. They've only won 1 game here so far on home ice. The big problem is winning games at home. They seem to be playing better on the road for some reason. They beat Boston, they beat New Jersey. I don't know. They just got to be all-around better hockey in this bill, and they just got to go for 60 minutes.
And, Jerry, one more thing before we go, and I think you can explain this to the fans at home. Players like Potvin, old, tired old body, he's been around for years. Mike Bossy, Potvin. It isn't that tough to play when you're older because you're a lot smarter, aren't you? You know how to play the game then.
Exactly, Mike. You learn more things. You learn the shortcuts, and a man with his ability, he's going to find the shortcuts. He doesn't really need them, but he's such a great hockey player. Things come easy to him, but I think it's a fallacy when you get 35 years old or older. I'm sitting here at 38. I still feel I can play, but there's a lot of players that are in my position that are not playing hockey because of the change in going with youth.
Okay, Jerry, thank you. I hope I filled in all right for John Gertler.
Did a great job, Mike.
Jerry Korab and Mike Robitaille will be back with more of the post-game show. You're watching Buffalo Sabres hockey.
Clothing for Sabres Productions is supplied by Joseph A. Bank Clothiers, 5501 Main Street in Williamsville and 1900 Clinton Avenue South in Rochester.
Now we go to other scores in the National Hockey League tonight. Before we get to them, Bruce, I'd just like to mention the fact that it was a game where, when you think the Buffalo Sabres had the 3-0 lead, and bang, the Islanders came back. And it was the first win for the Islanders on the road, as a matter of fact.
Well, you know, the Sabres really did, and Jerry Korab pointed out, they played an excellent first period of hockey. They owned the hockey game. And from that point on, it was all the Islanders. Now, I got a play I want to show you. We talk about the new-look Islanders. Well, I'll tell you something. It's not just the new-look Islanders. It's the old Islanders and the guys that do the job well and over, Trottier and Bossy. And look at this. This is the key play where Trottier carries the puck down that left side. And watch how he just draws everybody to him. And the key, though, is the fact Bossy. Now, look at the little flip pass. And Billy Height's a little late getting to Bossy, but you all saw earlier on, what a beautiful play. I've been on the ice so many times, seen that happen, and it's like you anticipated it was going to happen as you saw him carried in. That is the new look Islanders, but that's the old look, too.
Okay, Bruce, we'll get back to you in a moment, but right now let's go to the scoreboard, other games in the NHL. Calgary has a 2-0 lead over Montreal in the third period. Fatio scoring his second of the year. Al McInnes his third of the year for Calgary. Then in the third period, the Rangers and Quebec Nordiques, they are tied 4-4. The Nordiques at one point had a 3-1 lead. The Rangers came back to take a 4-3 lead. Quebec has tied it up. But the Rangers, Don Maloney is second. Mike Ridley his fourth. Mark Osborne his 10th. Bob Brook his fourth. For Quebec, Peter Stastny with his 9th. Dale Hunter scored his 4th of the year. Jason Lafreniere his 5th. And Alan Cote his 4th for Quebec. Now, Winnipeg has a 6-1 lead over the New Jersey Devils in the second period. For the New Jersey Devils, Claude Loistel with his second. For Winnipeg, Dave Ellett scored his second. Bill Derlego his second. Thomas Steen with a pair of goals, his 4th and 5th. Jim Kite his 6th, and Tom Martin his 1st. Pittsburgh and Detroit. The Red Wings, a much better hockey club this year. They're leading Pittsburgh 2-1 in the third period, and goals by John Ogrodnik, his 4th of the year. Peter Klima with his 12th. Doug Bodger scoring for Pittsburgh his 6th of the year. Now the St. Louis Blues have a 1-0 lead over the Chicago Blackhawks in the first period on a goal by Doug Gilmour, his 4th of the year. And that's a look at the scoreboard tonight. And Bruce, what else do you have for us?
Well, you know, Ted, at this stage, there's only one team that has won fewer games than the Buffalo Sabres, and that's the New York Rangers, with only 3 wins. The other thing is the fact that Gilles Perreault and Wolf Paymont have scored 20 of the 55 goals. And those are 2 players that weren't supposed to be here at the start of the season. So it makes you wonder what the future holds for the Buffalo Sabres.
Well, Paymont's just having a great start, and the Sabres will go into Madison Square Garden on Wednesday, I know, to play the New York Rangers, and I'm sure Phil Esposito is going to be hoping that...
ICENET. Dynasties live here.
And if you want Long Island's best team for insurance, go for National Security Brokerage. You'll feel secure with National Security Brokerage. Let's go Islanders.